This episode of Speakers of Eidolon is made possible by our generous patrons, like Chris, Tyronius, Scry de la Rosa, Jamie Assur, Jerry Green, Cicerifu Lilirifu, Ariel, Courtney, Dimos, Sprocket, Casey Schaefer, and Omega Cat Comet. Support the show and become a patron today at patreon.com/speakersxiv.
This is Speakers of Eidolon.
Good evening, Eorzeans. Welcome to Speakers of Eidolon, episode 97. I'm Lakeel Bravestone, and I'm joined today by Rollo Des and Mel Vanadar. We're Yasless today. Hello.
Poor Yaz. Pray for his soul.
Pray
Pray for Yaz.
/ pray. Today is June 16th, 2018, and that's a very special date because it is the 1-year anniversary of Stormblood. Stormblood Early Access started on this day 1 year ago. So happy birthday, Stormblood.
Stormblood.
Never forget Rabon X.
Never forget Cold Steel and the Q. The Q works, everyone. The Q works.
Q works,
Get in line.
guys.
Some
Get in
say
line.
there are still people standing in that queue today, but keep queuing, guys. Eventually it'll move along. And today we're going to talk about the E3 live letter and the following Q&A and the E3 interview. So it's a pretty big episode. So strap in for that. There's going to be a lot of discussion today because there's some controversial stuff too. So we'll get into that. You missed Courtney Cox on the Patreon list. Sorry to Courtney Cox. I know that you are a patron, so a special.
They're a patron, dude.
Special
Come
shout
on.
out to you. So also stay tuned for the post show if there is one. We don't know if there will be one, but if there is one, as always, make sure to catch that. Might discuss Fallen Rise and the future of that, future plans for the channel, etc. Maybe some E3. We can talk about some general E3 stuff too. Depends on how big the post show is. I don't want to sell the post show too much if there is none. So in channel updates, Fallen Rise released last week. So Remnants of a Realm is slated for next week, and it is now getting toward it's nearing the end now, because now I'm going to go into the city states, and that is the bell has started. The bell is tolling. There are only, I guess, then 3 + 1 episode, I believe, of Roar left. I need to change things up. So I'm glad Roar is ending, but I might change the recipe of Roar near the end, just so it has like a little bit of a fresh feel to it.
Narrated by me. Look for it, guys.
Yes, there you go. Okay. Let's see. Why? Why's the last week's episode is missing? There's a reason for it. Most of that episode, like the main story of that episode, was Ultimate. And we were like predicting how it was going to get beat. We didn't know anything about like how the fight worked properly because we hadn't seen the end. And then it got beat. And I felt like it would be weird to put it out after that because it would feel outdated. Now, here's the thing. At the end of that episode, we read some MogMail. And we read a lot of MogMail. So what I'm going to do is that on the YouTube version of this episode, I'm going to splice in that segment. So you can have your MogMail. If your MogMail was read last week, you'll be able to hear it in this episode on YouTube. That's a good compliment.
Okay.
Yeah.
To my past self, then I'm wrong. I pronounced someone's anime name wrong. It was Misato, not Makoto.
Oh, there you go.
Toko. So I'm sorry. You're from Evangelion, not Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah, there
I'm
you
so
go.
sorry, Misato. If you're on your way to work, still listening to this.
Hey. Yeah.
Shoutouts to you.
Shout out to you. So in the quick news update, Ultimate was cleared by Ragnarok's own entropy on June 10th at 1:07 p.m. GMT. Congratulations.
Well done, guys.
And not a big surprise. I was kind of expecting it, which not that quickly though. It was very quick. But
did they stream their progress?
No, they never stream.
Yeah.
But apparently, according to YoshiP, they spent like 88 hours spread over 5 days to beat this. So that's a lot of time invested to beat it. Final Fantasy XIV was updated on June 12th to reinstate the need option for all alliance raids. We forgot to talk about that in the previous episodes, and now let's do it now. Yeah.
It should have been there from the start. Why'd you change it?
Yeah. It's good that they listened. It's easy because it's probably one of the most puzzling things that they've done in recent times was do that, because it came so out of the blue, nothing no one ever wanted, and of course big backlash, and then they were like, okay, fine.
Did
no one
really
wanted this.
Complain about it being need in raids? That wasn't a thing, right?
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've never heard.
Sure, some would probably bitch that there's another ninja in the party. You say you're a ninja and there's another ninja, but now they made it worse now, because I mean before this, because now everyone could get that. So exactly, I don't know. I don't know what that meant.
I think people complained about need was when people need on something that I thought, no, you should read it because you only want it for seals. Well, whatever.
Yeah. And some
just go as a class.
Yeah,
just go with class.
I think they talked more about, like, I think their reasoning was ults. But for me, it's like, if you want gear for your ult, or ult classes, I mean, play as that class.
Yeah. It's not like it's difficult to, you just switch.
Yeah. It's like, that's the core of this game, is that you can switch classes on the go. So, I don't know. So, yay, good. It's back. A need. And also some merch. The Spriggan plushie is now available on the Square Enix store. I don't have the price. I updated it after I'd printed the sheet. It's like 30. So something funny happened. I'll say this. I'll call Square Enix out. Just before we went live, I followed the link to the plushie, and I had the links saved in our document, and it was $29.99. And then suddenly just updated, and the link didn't work anymore. And I was like, what? And I had to search it up again. The price had gone up. New link, new price. It's now, is it 35?
$34.99, yeah.
$34.99. So, they just updated the price, I guess.
Massive inflation in real time.
Yeah.
Get it now, guys, or it might be even more.
Yeah.
It's $31 in the States, so
$31.
Wow, okay, that's a nice conversion rate.
Yeah. You guys got screwed on that one.
Yeah. Why did they do that? It's okay, whatever. Estinian statue is also available. What was the price? In euros?
$67.49.
$67.49.
Now that's big.
So I'm gonna assume that it's just $60 for the US.
$12.
Yeah, $12 free shipping overnight.
It's one of them awful ones with ball joints.
Yeah,
it's a Play Arts Kai. God, get it right.
Yeah,
boring.
Figmas are better.
Of him.
Would you really buy a statue of Estinian?
I'd consider it.
For how much statues are worth?
I think a statue is worth $67.49.
It's not.
I think it should be worth that though.
It won't be if there ever is.
It'd be like 130.
Yeah. So just careful what you say with that one.
Yeah. Okay. And before we get into our main story, there is a video we have to watch. It's I think it's pretty new. Square Enix and the let me try this. Shinjuku Metropolitan Police Department collaborated on a PSA ad to pay attention to your surroundings and not have your nose in your phone for too long while in public. Basically, look around, you moron. So let's see if we can get this to work. Let's see, where do I even have it?
Who walks and plays games with their phone?
I know, right? Here we go. This is real.
Hey, it's him. Oh,
Yeah. Exactly.
I can't read that, but yeah, that.
Well, this goes on for a while, by the way. It's like 2
Oh, it
minutes and
does.
30, yeah.
Okay, I thought that was just it.
Oh, this is a tragedy waiting to happen.
Oh, everyone's on that.
Yeah. Oh, no! Yeah, don't do that. Lahi just keeps going. Oh, of course.
Oh, that was. Oh, I didn't like that duty pop noise.
No, I keep thinking that my duty pop.
There we go.
I haven't watched this, so I have no idea what this is.
Gonna fall off the first slide or whatever.
What's he doing? Always on his phone.
He's using the amazing new app.
Oh god.
Rollo. Oh
Yeah.
no. My
Oh
foul.
no. Yeah. Don't do it.
Ken. Oh, don't Joe's got the duty thing.
Mm-hmm. Don't do this while I'm duty finder. Oh, there's more.
Oh, is that Transylvania? Oh, he's always on it.
Yeah, man, God.
What's Alpha doing there so much?
I don't know.
He's helping. You know.
Whoa, alright. He can fly around.
Okay. I guess that was nice because I don't know what that end was, but that was the thing. So
Thanks, Shinjuku Police Department.
Yeah,
I'll make
thank
sure
you.
not to walk around Japan with my phone.
Yeah.
using
I kind of like
FFXIV
that.
app.
I want a case that looks like that.
Yeah.
how
It looks like-
how long do you think it'll take before that's an in-game item or an emote?
Oh no, please no.
Get the app and you'll get that emote on your
Oh
phone.
god, yes.
Oh well,
Probably will.
that'd be fine. Just fuck download the app.
Because
Yeah,
they
I'll
made
take
it look like a tome, so it's like yeah,
Yeah.
tomestones. It makes
Yeah.
sense. Okay, so let's get into the E3 live letter. So there wasn't a lot of news in this one. There was some really interesting stuff, but there's no like
Yeah.
big news here. But I just want to point out the quality of that stream was
Oof.
really terrible. It was like it was shot. It was like a school production, like with like when they have like those news stuff in schools.
Wow.
And the quality was it was weird. It was just weird. But that's not the point. The point is what we learned.
Mhm.
And they talked about the Monster Hunter World and Final Fantasy XIV collaboration. And they brought the producer, Ryoso Tsujimoto, who apparently met Yoshi P back in 2010 when he got 1.0 handed to him. And he kind of thought that Yoshi P had lost his mind for accepting it, that he was crazy for doing that. So there's a quote here. So I'll read the quote, the full quote. So first and foremost, I am familiar and have been friends with Monster Hunter producer and director Ryoso Tsujimoto and Kaname Fujioka for 10 years. So with those relationships, when we started A Realm Reborn, I had a chance to meet, and Tsujimoto was very worried. He told me, I understand you will follow through with that. Oh, actually, it says A Realm Reborn. That's actually supposed to be 1.0. I had a chance to meet, and Tsujimoto was very worried. He told me, I understand you will follow through with that, and I can help you with it at any time. At the time, it would have been piggybacking. Let me get back on my feet and be well established. When World was about to come, Monster Hunter World, Capcom wanted to revisit the idea. 14 had gotten better, so now was a good time, and that was about a year ago. So basically, yeah, he, the producer for Monster Hunter World, and Capcom kind of asked if they could be of any assistance during Yoshi P's, like when Yoshi P got the project. So imagine that world where Yoshi P said yes.
It'd be a very
would have been
different.
better.
Imagine if there was a collab with like the end of 1.0 with current Monster, or with the Monster Hunter at the time, which was like, I think it was Generations or no, it was something even older.
Yeah.
But that would have been
Yeah, I
What a
don't
different
think it
world.
would.
Imagine loading up this game and getting Square Enix and Capcom logos after
Oh
each
no,
other.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
no, because that could open up the like Resident Evil crossovers and all weird stuff. So.
Hey, that'd be fun.
Hildebrand would have been fucking
Oh
terrifying.
god, yeah, actually, yeah.
Mega Man could have been in there, man.
Yeah, hey.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so there were a lot of dinners. They talked about dinners a lot. They ate every time they discussed, they were eating. But they said
what?
that's when you get the best ideas. It's when you eat. So they ate together for years, and this sort of culminated.
They formed a relationship.
Yes.
They lived together for a while.
It kind of sounded like it. Yeah, it sounded like they're really like close.
Do you want to move your stuff to mine or mine to yours?
But then it gets then it gets really interesting because they said that this is probably one of the craziest collabs they've done, possibly the biggest. They did mention 8-man, gathering an 8-man party. And if you look at the trailer, it does look like it's a trial. Look,
Yeah.
it has that animation thing, and but it also seems like it's taking place in Bardham's Metal.
Yeah.
I think it's just an instance area of Bardham's Metal.
Yeah, or is it?
Be interesting.
Or is it? Maybe it's...
I mean,
what if we get a dungeon, like an 8-man dungeon? Would that be?
That'd be cool.
I mean, that would be fucking great if
That
that
would be amazing as long as it like.
And then it just ends
after.
with that fight. That would be cool.
I'd be down. I want to see what they do with this.
Yeah. Do we know when this is happening? We only know that it's like late summer, July-ish, right?
No exact dates yet, but they're
Yeah.
supposed to be. Both events are supposed to be around the same time. The one in Monster Hunter World, the one in FF14. So
Yeah.
Summer.
Yeah. There are a lot of possibilities. It might not be a trial at all, as some is pointing out in chat. It could be just a treasure map thing. Could be anything.
Big
Could
fate.
be. It could be a big fate. Though I find it weird because if it is a fate, I would expect more people in the trailer because they would promote it as like a big thing. Yeah. Also, the hunt system. I mean, this is a level 70 event, and they're like telling people to get jump potions if they don't play 14. And
so fucking scummy.
That's very silly thing.
If
to say.
that was if this was the hunt system, there's no way, like the hunt system can barely manage now, like with S ranks. Imagine this massive influx of Monster Hunter World players coming just for this event. No.
Would you really go to another game just for a quick collab?
No, I don't.
No, they also
think
said
so.
it's for people who like both. It's not like it's not for like cross.
A lot of players will probably return. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like the fact that it sounds like it's completely different than what we've seen before. Because so far, the collabs have usually been like fates, just fate grinding, and just basically fate. And sometimes there's just a quest NPC you talk to and just run to the other one, and that's it. Collab finished. So yeah, this looks like actual content.
Could be cool.
Yeah, and level 70 too, and in a Stormblood area. Again, time to decorate Ishgard for Starlight.
It is time.
So they moved on from that to a Q&A session, and these were questions from the official forum, and I was like, oh god, this is going to be ugly. But they were good questions, so I think maybe Matt he kind of probably filtered. He probably went for the good ones here. And asked some surprising questions. So the first question right off the bat was that the character creator feels limited. Question was raised as to whether this could be improved or expanded in the future. And of course, Yoshi P then gives us the usual packets and bytes answer that the servers can't handle and stuff. But he did not shut it down, which usually when there's like a hard no, you know. But he kind of left the door open a bit because he said that in the future, this is something they could look at. So
soft no.
It's so nonsense though. His answers are always so nonsense.
They expand on it in another interview though.
Dude,
so
you
I
have
think we'll get to
no idea how much the best answer is yet to come, my dude. Because there's the biggest nonsense.
Kind of read ahead,
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at like.
Yeah.
Black Desert is like a free-to-play Korean nonsense MMO, but it has a really robust character creation, as you know.
Yeah.
And it can load every character.
I'm assuming that the issue here is that we know that the back end of 14 is fucked, and
right.
that it's probably not as easy as we think to fix.
But even if they had to keep the same system as it is, where it like for the face it just picks 1, 2, 3, or 4 and loads that model, they can easily expand that, surely.
Yeah, to add more face plates and stuff.
Yeah.
Like face. Yeah, but I think what the person asking the question wanted was an
like
overhaul,
sliders and
sliders and stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, because 14 has a lot of it's mostly preset based.
Yeah, and you can mix and match the base faces, but you can only do so much.
Yeah, but they have shown that you can add sliders. They added the boob slider, which didn't exist in 1.0.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it is possible. Important things first. Exactly.
You can stretch the model for the boobs, but not the ass.
So I don't know. It's I wouldn't, because I read someone like, oh my god, character creator revamp in 5.0 didn't sound like that on Yoshi P. So it's probably post 5.0, maybe 6.0. Maybe 6.0, they'll do like a big overhaul of the game.
7.0 at best.
Yeah,
7.0 is like the Zodiac expansion where it ends.
Yeah, that's where Yoshi P goes leaves. So I don't know. We'll see. So this is my favorite answer that he's ever given, I think, because I feel ill. It's very strange. So someone asked a question: why not all items on the Mog Station are account wide, and if this could be implemented for future items? So that's a good question. A question a lot of us are asking, and I think we all kind of know why. It's money, but Yoshi P. See, okay, I'll give him. Okay, I'll just read the I'll just tell you what he said. So he said that account-wide items require a unique key, and they're running out of those keys. So they have to save those keys for special items.
Special items like the new mount you can get from the streams if you buy it from the Mog Station.
But here's the thing. If they're using a key system, won't they also be used for single account items as well? Right? If they have a key system, why wouldn't they have keys for that as well? And if that was the case, they're surely running out of those.
Regardless of if they're using it for the non-account wide stuff.
I mean, I have no idea.
If we're close to losing all account-wide items, that's not very good for
That's not good, no. So at one point we're just going to be, okay, no more account-bound items. just one. We only have the single ones now.
It's like he's pushing. He's pushing to see how far he can go.
Yeah, I don't know why he just couldn't say like the real reason. Like,
yeah, we want your money.
We get more money this way. I mean, that would be a more acceptable answer in this. I mean,
at least he's honest.
It's honest.
Yeah.
Maybe he just doesn't know. That too. He might just not
Maybe it's out of his
understand.
hands too.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Mr. Marketing has to you got to do something,
Yeah. So moving on from that bullshit answer, I think that's the last bullshit answer he gave. The rest is kind of interesting. Someone asked why the patch is spread out as much as it is right now, and why Eureka and Heaven on High was not just released in 4.3 instead of waiting. So because it feels like there's not much to do right now, some people, and Heaven on High would have made the wait less awful. And then Yoshi P explained that this is all intentional. It's to ensure that the patch lives on as long as possible, and that the players had something to look forward to other than the next full content patch. So, and that way the wait for the patch didn't feel so long, because you feel like you always have content coming in. Like before, they didn't do this. We had like massive droughts. Like there was nothing happening in between patches, right? So I kind of see that point. And he also specifies that Eureka was especially important to delay because of the item level of the weapon. So there you go. That's the explanation. I guess it kind of makes sense.
I don't think it makes sense for odd numbered patches though, because you do the big raid, and that's kind of the big thing with MSQ and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're done for the week,
Yeah.
Like that's kind of it. But with even number patches, you get the stage rating, whatever.
Yeah.
And you turn multiple times at your drop, so that lasts you a bit longer at least.
Yeah.
But
plus, for even patches, you have to cap, whereas odd ones you no longer need to cap. You literally have one thing to do every week.
I understand pushing Eureka back because of the eye level thing. That makes sense. But Heaven on High could have been at launch just fine, I think.
I think so too. Or
at
or even further, they could have released it when they released Ultima.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even pushing Eureka back, who cares if you get a slightly higher item level for 2 weeks? I mean, come on. It doesn't matter.
I know.
It's fine.
If it's like a development time thing, then I understand that too.
Yeah.
Like if it's like, oh, we still have
show
some
it
work
off,
to do.
They show the
they're done. They've
they've
literally told us that that patch, the whole patch is done. So I think they are just extending the life of the patch. So we have artificially extending the length of the patch. But Heaven on High, I think, should have been released earlier because it is long-term content again. It's something that people can do for a long time. And
whereas Eureka, all it means is do you still go to Animus much?
No.
I don't really go there anymore.
No.
The same will happen.
I still kind of need to, but because I still want all the relics, but there's
you don't need to cap anymore, so you don't need to go.
That's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. I'm torn on it. I understand, but I feel like at least Heaven on High should have been released earlier.
Yeah.
So they got the usual question of Ishgard housing. So I think people need to stop asking about that because why would we need it now? I feel like the housing market has regulated and it's actually in a good spot right now. I keep seeing like available plots every now and then which
the time,
was unheard of before. So that's good. But they did say that if they ever were to add or felt the need to add a new housing district, it would probably be Ishgard. So
cool.
I'd love to live in Ishgard more than like most of them.
Yeah.
It makes sense too, because like if 5.0 is going to be Garland, I don't think you'd really find Garland housing.
That wouldn't make sense
just
right?
now.
Yeah.
Hey, move in, guys.
Come live in the fucking arid, terrible place with smoke and smog everywhere. You'll love it.
Yeah.
You're welcome, dear.
People pointing out in chat, Yoshipia looked so dead inside, especially when this question was asked, because he has gotten this so many times. You could just tell he was just like, I'm fucking done.
He looks dead inside most of the time.
Yeah.
He's probably overworked, the poor guy.
Yeah. There was also this weird moment where he just left. Remember that, Rollo? He was just sitting there. He's like, I'm going to leave. And just Matt and the translator was like,
yeah.
And he left.
Like, and they just kept like trying to explain the last question a bit more.
They padded out time. He came back though. Wow. Apparently his necklace was like clicking into the microphone on this. so the sound guy was like,
"Come." Sheaths was not quite aligned.
Okay. This one's good. This is something we've waited for. Someone asked, They asked, or actually, that's not a question. The beginning of Realm Reborn feels sluggish and long-winded. Players are asking whether or not there are plans to fix this, so new players don't fall off the wagon before level 50, which is a big, like, a lot of people want this because a Realm Reborn is bad. Not bad. Okay, don't clip that. I didn't say that. A Realm Reborn has portions where quests feel there's a lot of them. Like there are clusters of quests that don't necessarily tie into the rest of the story. Do you get what I mean? Like there's a lot of fetch quests. And Rollo, the Titan, up to Titan, there's like a big stretch of time where you just do pointless quests that don't make any sense.
Yeah.
That's true. But
so it's not bad, it just needs to be abridged, is what I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think the before 50 thing is the weird bit, because it's the
that's what I'm saying.
50 stuff is the worst bet. The 52. Well, I mean, it's.
I know.
52 happened to
through all the patches of Realm Reborn. Yeah,
the patches are way too long too. Actually,
they are the ones that need the biggest stream.
There's like a dozen quests every patch, I think.
They added a lot. There's
2.x.
2.x had more, I think. Like they had a lot. They had like almost like a full like base game worth of MSQ. And they were not good. They were like they added actual like you have to do guild tests again quests, which I will never forgive them for doing because I leveled an alt and I had to do that. No. So Yoshi P said that yes, work is being done to streamline A Realm Reborn's initial quests, and that will be implemented soon, but not in the next patch. So just soon. So
I'd say like 5.0.
Yeah.
See something like that, or 4.5 maybe.
Yeah.
If you really want to get it done now.
Because I've tried to get people to play this game, and they fall off in A Realm Reborn. Like they lose interest because there's so much shit going down there that there's just like, why am I doing this?
It's happened to me too.
They lose interest more because like they're maybe enjoying the story, but they're seeing you having so much fun at level 70.
That's also an issue, of course. But then, okay, so that's one thing, seeing that your friend is like at level 70 doing endgame shit, and you're like a low level 5 moron. But then also getting like repeatable, annoying quests that just don't lead anywhere and like give you like minuscule EXP, and it's just the same shit over and over. That too is very annoying.
Now come back to the Waking Sands. Go to Gridania. Now come back to the Waking Sands.
Pray return to the Waking Sands.
It's weird too because they can warp you around, and they choose not to, especially for all that Waking Sand stuff. It's just why.
Get an Aetherite.
Yeah, get an Aetherite inside the Waking Sands, please. In her office, in Minfilia's office, the antecedents office, please do that. So yeah, that's good. It's good. It's happening. Coming soon. TM.
It's not bad. Just shorten it a little bit,
Yeah. Maybe even just add an option to do the abridged version. Maybe so. If there are some masochists out there that want to do the original vanilla experience of A Realm Reborn, can do that. I don't know what they're doing though. If they're doing just like just trimming down the quests, or because they could easily do that without anyone noticing. Because there's so many quests that just don't tie to the story at all.
Or all the Sylph stuff. You gotta learn all their culture, which is cool. It's for a bit, but it's too much. I don't want to dance with every single one.
Just dance with one. Dance with one. That's okay. So yeah. Yay. Next question was, for some jobs, role actions feel mandatory. There's actually very few actions that feel optional. And that's especially for White Mage. Is there any way you could make these feel more optional?
Remove White Mage.
So what he said was a bit interesting. I thought he was just going to give us this soft no thing, like this is the new system, deal with it. They're working on finding a new direction for the role actions because it feels like it's not quite done yet.
Talent trees.
So they're working on it, and they expect this to happen at or after 4.4. So that is the patch where adjustments to role actions will take place, apparently.
Nice.
So yeah, I don't know how.
I see what he means. Like, for some classes, you get 5 options and you've got like 7 skills that you need.
Yeah.
And then for others, you only need 1. And you're like, what else should I take?
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like some of them you can you have some choice if you're raiding with somebody and you're like a static. So like, oh, I'll get protect because I'll be the protect healer. Oh fuck, what was that?
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Is that the new thing?
That's our new sub sound. Here we are. Hooray! 2 months.
Thank you. Sorry, you scared me. But yeah, like you can, like you don't always need leeches, I guess, or Suna.
Yeah.
Or you can just have one healer with that. But sometimes it's, I don't know. I'd like some more flexibility, is all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Making the class your own, like. Classes need some sort of like flexibility in how they approach content, like having a more support role or a more direct damage role or something like that, and the skills to sort of support that.
Yeah,
just make things more interesting.
If they're going to do this though, it's going to be a big task, especially like considering like classes, not jobs like White Mage, where they took White Mage's basic skills and made them role actions, and now all the healers and then they removed the similar skills from the other healers. So Leeches is gone. The equivalent that Astrologian had. So Asuna, basically. So how are they going to fix that? They would have to put them back, give the skills back then.
Yeah.
Give us leeches back, son. I want to throw leeches at people.
The hardest part with this is balancing it because of the new Ultimate content, which may become easier with these changes.
Exactly.
Which you don't want. So that's.
Would it really though?
No, well, but not necessarily, but potentially.
I mean, could
that
be.
potential.
I mean, I mean that is the risk, right?
And you don't want to undermine that content to make it suddenly something that more people can suddenly do.
Yeah. I don't know. Just make White Mage the class it's supposed to be.
Just delete it.
Glorious.
You have a bubble and strong heals. Settle down. You're fine.
You took stone skin from me, you bitch.
You have another stone skin.
You stole it. No, it's fine. I don't miss stone skin at all. So
I miss the sound it makes.
Oh god, yeah, it's so satisfying. It's almost like when we listen to that cork bark thing that I played once, where people remember that? When was that? When we listened to the cork. There was a cork tree.
Oh god, yeah, the cork being ripped off. Yeah.
It
kind of has that satisfying sound. Anyways, free companies are hard to find and join. Right now you have to either know someone with an FC or shout for one. Are you going to implement a way to make it easier? And yes, they are. They've talked about this before, I think. But it will be RP friendly. I thought that was a bit weird, but
it'll be an FC board, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is
a board in each city or something.
I love that. I like that. I love that they just didn't put it in a menu. And it's like part of the world. Makes it canon.
Maybe people will spam you less invites if you're not an FC now?
Yeah.
I hope so. Maybe it should remove that ability.
Yeah. It will be added soon, but not with this next patch, but after that, probably.
Can you pay more gil to have your FC at the top?
I would promoted FC of the day.
I would assume your FC rank would actually be worth something at that point.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how it does it. Because remember, that's the thing. FC ranks. Don't know how.
That's right.
Don't know how what the point of them are, but you can.
God, I hope it's with credits because we've got loads of those.
Oh God, yeah, we have a lot. We have
it's just based on activity, right?
We're nearing 5 million. Yeah. Yeah, it's based on activity. So good. And highly requested. Remember when they talked about placing like a clone of the FC Master in the similar way to like a bazaar, where you would just place it in like a designated area and he would be promoting the FC.
God, that would be so cool though. If it was like a really expensive item that lasted like an hour. And it was just you going, hey, ye, hey, ye.
That'd be neat, but I think I just want a board instead.
Yeah.
It's a bit easier.
Yeah, a board is less intrusive too. Also, we don't need like a bizarre looking system. We had that in 1.0.
The FC Bazaar.
Yeah, the FC Bazaar. Yeah, you have to go there. Oh, no. Someone said the minion list feels outdated and difficult to navigate.
Super definitely does.
And yeah, it does. And I would say hashtag PS3 limitations. And he quickly answered that a brand new minion window will be added soon.
Nice.
It needs a search function, so
with a search, yeah. So
and 3D models.
That would be cool. Yeah. That's not confirmed though. That's
just us begging.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And like little lore, you can have the little lore description. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool.
It does animations and stuff.
Then the question I never thought I'd hear in a live letter Q&A was asked.
Out of left field.
Are there any plans of making a 1.23b server for players that wish to experience Final Fantasy XIV's original story? And Yoshi P, the look on Yoshi P's face when this question was asked was, it was great. And he was very confused, and he was like, what the amount of work though? We would have to make a brand new server with outdated old stuff in it, and it wouldn't be worth it in the long run. But he understood that some people, and especially old 1.0 players, but also Realm Reborn players, would like to experience what pre-Calamity Eorzea was like. And he did say that this could be a possibility in the future. Not a server, but in-game. Which I don't want to push hype for something that is in no way confirmed. But we've been talking about like wanting some sort of time travel expansion.
Yes.
And I think this is the first time that has ever been mentioned by Yoshi P. So there is hope. There is hope for a time travel expansion like Wings of the Goddess for 11.
I think it would be more an optional piece of content for people who would want to experience.
But they would have to do so much rework. Like they would have to model a brand new Lenosha. They would
I mean, not to that extent.
They only would need to like make a tiny portion, of course.
I mean, like you go through the MSQ and like the cutscenes with your character, and then you have like retooled fights that can just work as duties or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, oh, here's you fighting Nail and all that, and that's just kind of like you don't explore the overworld. You just go through a series of cutscenes and fights, and that would be more my guess. That's a bit more conservative, I think.
Yeah.
I like to think that he just, as soon as he heard the question, he was nervously looking at the recycling bin on his desk. Oh god, oh god, what do they want? And then he made something up. It could be caverns of time, just loads of like historic events as like scenarios you run through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's what I'm thinking.
Slightly variant on dungeons, so it's not just a dungeon, but it's like it could be like a guild hest, but like a good version of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna hire us to add all the old 1.0 dungeons they didn't finish.
Yeah, he's already mapped them out.
Yeah, I've done all the work for him. Yeah, it could be part of the Rising events. Like maybe one Rising event we get to go back to like one
That'd
area.
Be a pretty big Rising event.
Yeah, that'd be a huge Rising event. We went back again and again and again.
Yeah. They've done crazy stuff with the Rising event before. Remember when we went up to the 13th floor, talked to Yoshi P?
That was cool.
Yeah.
But it's like a small area.
That's small though, but they don't have to make a big area. They don't have to remake 1.0 Lenosha, because my goodness, it's bigger than 2.0 Lenosha. But
there's not much to see.
There's not much to see. They only just like need a small portion. Like, I don't know, I'm dreaming. But it would be cool. It's been done before in Final Fantasy 11 with Wings of the Goddess, which was literally a big expansion that was all about traveling back to the past of Vana'diel. So it's possible. And if there's one game that makes sense, then it's 14, because it has an actual real past, like a IRL past.
And like an in-game mechanic to go there.
Yeah.
With the echoes.
We could go in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely a possibility, and it's also a nice way to make an expansion where you can just import old assets.
Exactly, it'd be a quick one, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So I would assume they have. Well, do you think they still have 1.0 assets in Square Enix? Do you think?
Yeah, of course.
I have this like weird image of them being like, we need to burn everything.
Yeah.
Throw everything out the window. It's over. No, but they probably left some. But yeah, it's in their vault. Yeah.
It's not like they've got 14 assets, because they're all 11 ones, like 12 ones.
True. Okay, so that's cool. If you ever wanted to experience 1.0, that might actually happen in the game. Now we need to talk about the app.
Can't wait.
Someone subscribers at you for
that was just me. That was me.
Okay.
So the app is coming out in late July, and the website is up. It's
Do you know what I like about the website
much.
Most?
Yeah.
It completely ignores all the premium potential.
It mentions it at the bottom, at the very bottom. There's like you can pay for some coupon nuts and Moogle coins.
It doesn't say how you get them.
No. It's very.
They're just there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it does say mod coins. It's also a very underwhelming website. It doesn't really say a lot.
It's got that stupid Lalafell on it with his phone though.
Yeah, he's the mascot. I'm telling you, that emote is coming.
Yeah, it may actually come.
It is coming now, because they've used it, which means it exists. Like they've used it in game, so it must exist somewhere.
Which tombstone is that? Poetic?
Oh, good question.
Red and one blue?
I think it's poetic.
It's a lot of Poetics, yeah.
Yeah, Poetics. So that's cool. That's not cool actually, because it's the app.
Not.
I don't think
with your friends.
Yeah.
And plan events.
Is it interesting, Mela? Do you want
Might be late. Okay, gotcha. Need to test my rotation anyway. Should be 10 minutes max. brilliant. Oh,
I have a
wait.
feeling that chat thing isn't link shells, like actual link shells.
It's not. It's just
you have
talking.
to use the app. It's app to app.
Yeah.
So you can only speak to people who have the app.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that's it. I would be
Okay.
very amazed, which is weird because remember we talked about this before, but remember Gilded had that functionality built in. Back
Yeah.
when everyone used Gilded, you could talk to your link shell. You had to have the game running, I think, but still, it was pretty cool. Okay, so then they moved on to FanFest 2018, which had a surprising announcement. First of all, we're getting the Fenrir motorcycle mount from Final Fantasy VII. So
Hooray.
it's happened, and it's got +1 mount speed. So it'll be the fastest mount in the game.
Wow.
And I guess that solves, because that's why they didn't put it in the first place, because the mount speed in 14 was too slow and just made it look really weird. Now it'll have extra speed, so it looks better.
Yeah.
And that is
That's
what
a terrible excuse, by the way. The mana cutter's bigger, and like it looks fucking slow, and that's a
That's
problem.
stupid,
yeah.
Can't wait to win PvP because I'm always faster than everyone.
That you will, if you attend the FanFest, you will get one of those. Plus 1 minion per region. I'm assuming they're going to be Final Fantasy VII themed.
Oh yes.
So,
please.
a Cloud, a Tifa, and an Aerith.
Oh no, Barrett.
Or Barrett. Oh, that would
Big
be.
Barrett.
God, it'll be difficult. But I'm assuming they're going to go for the boobage, and that's why they go Tifa and Aerith, probably.
Or Yuffie.
Aerith doesn't have any boobage.
Or Yuffie probably then.
Oh.
We'll see.
Maybe Sephiroth as well.
Oh
'cause he's
God.
big.
Yeah, like
There's
when
too
you're doing
much
7,
option.
like, oh God, who do you pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel
Red
like
one or the dog.
Red
whatever
would
the
be
name.
cool. Yeah,
Red
Red
too.
13. Or Kaishi.
Yeah.
Or
The dude from Dirge of Cerberus.
Let's just mention every Final Fantasy VII
every
character.
7 character.
Yeah. All of them in one
Hobo.
minion.
Genova.
Hobo. Hobo. How about Hobo? Hojo. I meant Hojo.
Hojo. yeah.
Vincent.
Oh,
yeah.
Don Corneo.
Okay, let's stop mentioning 7 characters. You'll get 1 per region.
Vincent. That's it.
How do you know
And
Vincent, you fool?
If you don't attend, you can buy all of these, the mount and the minions, on the Mog Station.
Buy them, Lucio.
And
What do
listen,
you mean?
live stream, free.
Free.
This year's FanFest is absolutely free of charge, so that's good. You don't.
No live music though. Not allowed.
What?
Hooray.
Music?
You don't get live music
Oh yeah, no, but yeah, that's
for
fine.
the stream.
That's fine.
Whatever. Can't play anyway. Just jealous, okay?
The live stream will be free, and ticket sale starts on July 10th for Las Vegas. So get on that if you are planning to go.
Sweet. Oh, I can't wait.
How do you guys feel about the Fenrir mount with the +1 speed no matter what?
I mean, the hardest question here, Rollo, is can it fly? And if it can fly,
It
why
can.
will it
It
fly?
probably can, yeah.
Will it
Um,
transform into a plane?
They said it can fly, it can go in the water, it can go on land too.
Yeah.
Will it transform into the Zeppelin from 7 and then the submarine from 7?
Yes, of course, Mela. That's exactly what's going to happen. But no, it's not. I think we're at the end of the slippery slope. I feel like
Yeah.
we're standing on it now. And I'm worried, but because this is, I mean, how much of an advantage is it? Really?
It's not much.
No, right? So it's not like we're not in pay to win territory, but
No.
it is technically an advantage over other mounts because
Yeah.
it is faster.
And
Yeah.
it is a slippery slope. They are pushing more and more.
Mhm.
I mean, you look at the Mog
I mean,
Station
it's definitely
2.
confirmed with how it works because the way I read it was just it'll go at maximum speed regardless of whether you've unlocked maximum speed or not.
Yes.
Does it definitely go +1 after that as well?
Yes.
Okay. So
That's
it's
what I
max speed and a
thought.
little
That's what I'm getting from this anyway. Or is it not? Is it capped at 2?
Well, I'm not
Okay.
sure. I thought it was like no matter what your unlock level is, you'll still go at max speed.
That's what I thought. That's how I read it. But
it's they're still capped, yeah, but
okay,
it's still but that's even in new areas too.
That's
that
even
about.
They said even in 5.0 you will still have +1 in those areas. So that's when it's starting to get worse. But still, I don't know. I don't really care too much about mount speed. It's fine. But it is scary though that they're actually adding that in. I think that's a little scary.
It's telling of where we'll be very soon.
Yeah.
So it's just
yeah.
When they added XP boosts, and we were like, wow, it's only for under level 30.
Yeah.
plus 40% XP or whatever.
Yeah.
That's coming as well.
Yeah. It's not too bad yet, but
no,
be careful. Be careful.
Yeah. Be careful.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to the E3 interviews, which contained more information. So I haven't had time to read through all of this, so some of it's going to be news to me too. So
there was a lot.
There's
of them,
a
by
lot.
The way. At least 4 or 5 were being posted to places.
Yeah. So they talked about. So they also talked about this on the live letter thing too, but we didn't catch that when we watched it. So certain third-party tools, we all probably know it's ACT, allowed players to capture and show the packets sent from the servers earlier than this is data mining, right? Oh, wait.
No, this is
the jail thing, right? Yes. So, so ACT probably could call out jail targets in Ultimate before they even showed up on the screen. So that was not, according to YoshiP, not that crucial of a problem, because that phase takes place early in the battle. So they don't really care that was a thing. They also sort of said that they didn't consider that to be cheesing the fight in any way or compromising the fight.
Shame though.
But in the next fight, they will need to add another layer of protection to ensure that doesn't happen in the next one.
Good. I think that's definitely. I mean, it's not really cheating, but it is kind of like.
It lessens the difficulty, kind of, right? Because it's calling it out. Yeah.
Yeah, and then if it's a world race too, then you have to use it, or else you have disadvantage because everyone else is using it.
Yeah.
So
I see what you mean, but making like the fight intentionally even more delayed or whatever, or just making that net code is trash already. They don't need to be adding more little checks onto it.
I mean, I
spend
just
a
think
weekend with Blizzard, sort your netcode out. Please sort your netcode out.
Well, they wanted to. So what they're doing is that they want to change the timing and how they send the packets, and then improve how the effects and animations allow you to detect the mechanics in order to confuse those third-party tools.
I've started a war on ACT. It's okay, guys. It's fine.
I mean, it's not a war on ACT.
I think this is talking about Ultimate specifically, though. They're not going to do this on everything. I think it's just because it's Ultimate, and that this is like more prestigious to clear.
I think it's just a thing they'll do going forward. Like, oh, we don't want you to, because these abilities were called out in voice before they were actually displayed in game.
Yeah,
I mean that's bad, but that's their fault. And if they're trying to make it different and they can make it work without it affecting the timing of the fight, fine, brilliant.
Yeah. I think they can.
The biggest problem with Ultimate was the fact that everyone ruined it by data mining it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So they talked a little bit about Ultimate Weapon. So the concept of this battle was to move away from a linear solve and move forward type of fight. So that's why it's so different from Unending Coil. And the one who was in charge of designing this fight is the man who made Binding Coil turns 1, 2, 4, and 5 by himself.
Missed out 3.
Yeah, no. It's very clear no one worked on 3. So
he probably did work on it, but he was so embarrassed by that.
Just
don't say
he went under a surname for that.
So he's apparently a genius. Well, clearly. I mean, he's made some of the most iconic fights in 14. And the dev is apparently, let's see, he's a genius. Also the dev in charge of doing all the EXP and level designs and made the core system to automatically calculate and allocate the substats for any eye level on his own. This man did this alone.
Cool.
He's also the one who made Good King MogMail Extreme and Ramu Extreme.
Good King MogMail Extreme is the hardest fight in the game.
I mean, it is pretty hard if you're pugging this.
Super
Yeah.
hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so hard.
Yeah. And Ramu
Just
Extreme is
call it the
really
markers,
good.
dude. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. These are
Ramu
both
Extreme's
really
pretty hard.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty good fights.
God, Ugh.
So, but now there's some bad news. I guess, depending on how you feel about Ultimate. At the moment, we're getting an Ultimate fight every odd patch, but is this going to continue in the future? Yoshi P says, we were originally planning to have an Ultimate fight for each odd-numbered patch, but after observing the reactions from the community, there were a lot of opinions saying having an Ultimate fight every 2 patches is too rough. So we changed our minds and thought 2 Ultimate fights per expansion might be better. So I think the Ultimate series will be on hiatus for now.
I think this is a misstep.
We were speaking about this a little bit before, and
Yeah.
I think it's sort of. I mean, you don't want to. I was saying that you don't want to dilute the content in that we're always expecting the new Ultimate, because the world races so far have been pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And if we're always getting a new Ultimate, I think they'll lose something.
Right. It's the fear of diluting the concept, making it feel more special when it's rare. And having it like on a set release makes it feel like just another piece of content that we expect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Having even 1 per expansion would be fine by me. Like right at the end, there's this just stupid little, like even harder than the current one. Just like it'll take months to clear.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, yeah.
It's so special to get that like, oh, finally it's time for this crazy one again.
Yeah. It's almost sad that they gave us Ultimate this patch. They should have just waited another one, and then it wouldn't have felt so weird. But because now it's going to go cold turkey, we're just not going to get anything now until 5.0. But that I'm actually initially I was like, oh gasp, this terrible, bad. But again, I kind of get it. Because Unending Coil is still it's level synced, eye level synced. It's gonna remain as hard as it is right now, and people are still struggling on that, right? So, and the same thing's gonna happen to Ultimate. It's gonna be eye level synced as well. I don't know. A part of me wants one every odd numbered patch because it's damn cool. But I think after a while, it might not be as cool because it comes out every odd patch. If you get my drift.
I don't know. I still think we're pretty excited for Uwu, and like it'd be kind of a shame too, because like you get the 4.5, and then the new hardest content is the Last Savage and maybe the new Extreme too. I don't know. Wouldn't it be kind of nice to have like, okay, end of expansion. Here's a nice big end with bang Ultimate for you guys.
Yeah.
So like I think 3's fine. It's not that much more than 2 per expansion, and it's still like an exciting event for people.
Yeah.
It keeps people engaged, even outside the game too.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I'm a bit torn. I didn't think I'd be torn on this. Normally I would be like, oh god, how dare they not give us content? But in this case, I don't know. Yeah, it would be cool.
Like,
when they want it.
When they want it, that would be nice. When they like really have an idea, they're like, okay, it's time. Let's put this in the game.
Yeah.
Well, that technically could backfire because we could end up with an expansion with no Ultimate fight because they never thought of one. But I don't know. I mean, remember the people that have cleared Ultimate, and Unending Coil are still the 1%. So there's still a lot of people still progging Unending Coil and Ultimate. So for those, this content is going to last a long time. And I think that's what he's trying to get at here, that some people who are still at Unending Coil are like, oh my god, another Ultimate. Like, after this, we have to go to that. Like, they don't get a breather. I think that's what he's trying to say.
But But you get a breather with the other patch.
Yeah.
Not a long breather if you start beating Bahamut there.
I mean, it's a pretty long time between the patches to
Mhm.
like if you want to take a break from just playing the game, you can still come back and do Ultimate by the end of it just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you might end up with this huge backlog of fights that you really want to do. And
Yeah.
Isn't that a good thing though? Because they're mostly for the challenge and less for the reward.
I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah.
So it's like you're doing it because you enjoy it and you want to like get to the end. And I think
Yeah.
having more of it would be a better thing than having less. More good ones, obviously, not like if they had to force themselves to
Well,
be more
yeah, that's
creative.
the risk, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Like I can understand the fatigue. I can totally understand if that's the case.
Yeah. To quote Yoshida, even to this day, we have a large amount of people around the world still challenging Bahamut Ultimate, and we are going to leave the Ultimate fights level synced. Also, if we have too many of these Ultimate fights, some players might think, when are we going to catch up and be able to challenge the next Ultimate fight?
Right. Because what are their choices? Push through them in order, which they might think they're meant to do, and you sort of are meant to do.
Yeah.
Or just ignore them all, and then you can finally jump to the new, fresh one and join in with everyone else who's actually progging.
Yeah.
You don't want to feel left behind.
Yeah.
Then you get, pre-level 50 content, whatever people are complaining about.
Yeah. I mean, I think, again, we've talked about this before, like how much of a pattern there is to the patch cycle. So this breaks it now.
Yeah, anything to break that, yeah.
Yeah. So,
but it's just you're just getting one less break. You know what I mean? Or
but
getting one less.
I also
is it really breaking that much?
think the next odd patch is going to be 4.5, which is probably going to be one of the last patches, which means it's probably going to be huge. It's probably going to have a lot of, usually that's what they do, right? They load it up with shit because now we're nearing the end of this expansion. Let's burn up the budget. But so maybe we're getting some extra stuff in the gap. I mean, didn't they say that Ultimate, by the way, didn't actually affect the other content?
Yeah, because it's mostly it's reused assets, it's recycled stuff, and it's I think it's mostly just the gameplay mechanics, which I'm not saying are easy to make, by the way. Not trying to be backseat.
No, but it's just that one guy doing it.
Yeah.
I guess he's free.
Yeah.
Like Chocobo guy, he's not doing much at the moment.
What's Chocobo guy up to these days? You doing okay?
Did he get a promotion?
Love you, man.
Yeah.
Was it him who got a promotion? I think
he
so.
did get a promotion, didn't he? Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't really mind it, actually, as much as I thought. The Ultimate fights are fun, but I think if they keep pushing them out every odd patch, I would probably actually get it would lose the magic, kind of, I think.
Yeah.
It'll be like the Savage.
Because I don't play them, I just live them vicariously, and I would get bored of just watching, and
Yeah.
But how much are you getting a year?
2, I guess.
2.
Yeah.
I think 2 a year and is fine. I think that's how it works out, right? If they do 3, it works out to 2 a year.
Yeah, because then.
So yeah,
it might be like it might be 2, 3, 2, 3.
Yeah, so that's like, I think that's fine. There's enough space and time for that. For like, oh, here's the big one of 2 events for the year, for the game.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's as I guess numerous or as people would think.
I don't know.
I guess, I see what you mean.
They are open again to feedback on this. So if you are very against this, make sure to let your voice be heard. Or if you're support it, I guess they would want to hear that too. So that's feedback time as well.
Yeah. Make your voice known.
Yeah.
Don't always just spew up like being against it.
Yeah, also please stop, don't flame Yoshi P for this, because apparently that's a thing now. He's getting a lot of hate over this, so please chill.
That's just
he's an old man.
He's in his, how old is he now? 50. He had his birthday was, is it 50? Should know this. I can't remember.
He's
50.
45.
45. Oh my god. I'm sorry, Yoshi P. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's pretty young.
He's 45, but looks.
He looks pretty.
30.
Yeah, he looks pretty good.
Yeah, he looks like it is in his mid 30s.
Like 40s,
Yeah, it looks
30s,
40s. Anyways, let's move on. They talked about
Impressive.
main scenario.
Mhm.
So they already have the conclusion of the Stormblood story planned out. They already had it planned out during the development for 4.0.
Ah.
And with patch 4.3, the primal in this patch brought the end to the story for the patch 4.x series.
Okay.
So this is that is, I guess, that kind of confirms that we are done with the original Stormblood story.
I
So
guess we're moving into the prelude to the next one.
yeah, again, that's very early. I'm very surprised, but I'm very happy too.
Yeah.
I was getting kind
Was
of
not
tired.
like that.
Stormblood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, the surprise solo in trial. Yeah, they talked about this. The RPG mode where you were Alphino. Okay, so the Ellison from the Alamegan Resistance in patch 4.3 is a totally new character we haven't seen before. But that he is now referencing the body.
Yeah.
He is not referencing to who's inside it. So I'm
We
pretty
know
sure
who it is.
that
so
we all
we-
know who it is. He's just trying to throw us off.
Yeah, you can't fool us.
I think he said that because people were saying, "Oh, it's harsher font because it's an
Yeah.
Alizin." Doesn't
Yeah,
make
What?
yeah.
You
Some said
know?
that. I love that.
Yeah, and I think it was another interview might have said I regret making him an Alizin now because people just think he's harsher font.
Yeah,
But no, there's others.
yeah.
Harsher
It should have been a cat
well-known.
girl. No, wait, could you imagine Xenos in a row body?
Oh,
man.
Oh,
Big and beefy.
hell yeah,
He sort of already is, just with a tiny head.
yeah. Okay, so here's the spin. The patch 4.4 story is the equivalent of the first episode of a new season for a TV series.
Oof.
Again, with the
funny.
TV, he loves that, bringing up like TV, like everything's related to television.
He loves television.
He watches a lot of television, I would assume. Yeah, so it is brand new.
What-
So we're starting fresh in the next one.
Was it like that in Heaven's Sword? I don't really remember the
4.
exacts. 'cause
I think
Sorry,
the-
3.3 was the end of the Dragon Song.
yeah,
storyline.
so I guess it was the same then. sort
Didn't
of.
pivot though. It didn't pivot. We stayed in Ishgard for a while in the Dravanian.
Meandered, you might
Yeah.
say.
Well, we
Yeah.
had like the hints of the Griffin and that bit, but
Wasn't that in 4. Oh yeah, no, sorry, 3. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that
it
did
was
happen in
in
3.4. Yeah, that does
4,
make
but,
sense. Yeah. No,
Because
wait, that
4
was
was like
3.5.
no.
Is that when we get
Wasn't that-
Papalimo and
Oh
Oh,
no,
no,
that
there
was
was the Barriers of Darkness as well. God,
Oh,
yeah.
God help us all. Yeah, because that was definitely a filler story element.
yeah,
So
the filler arc.
yeah. So yeah, that's cool.
Called it
Again,
filler, but it was actually the most important prophecy in the entire game.
yeah.
But it wasn't treated like that, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
They also again, confirmation, I suppose, on the 8-man trial thing. They talked about the Monster Hunter World thing in this interview as well, and they say they're not going to outright say if it's an 8-man trial or not, but they won't betray our expectations.
That
That's
means
a
it
very
probably
weird
is.
way of saying it.
That's a very weird way of basically confirming it.
Especially when your community is this needy. To
Yeah.
Say, oh, we won't betray your expectations.
Yeah.
It's a very Japanese developer way of saying, probably, yeah.
Yeah. So they will be releasing a full trailer in July, including what the battle is about and the rewards. So
The battle. Yeah, it has to be because it's very.
It's going to be Monster Hunter armor, of course.
Yeah.
Or at least Monster Hunter weapons.
No, it's not. It's just going to be that emote, and that's it.
The potion drinking, like...
I think there's more because they said that this is a big event.
Yeah.
And
Maybe
it's
like
also
Garo
not.
and
It's not timed. It's going to be there for probably.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's going to be there forever. Well, I'm saying this. We don't know, but from what he said, like, why would they remove a trial from the game? Like, that sounds like a lot of work, right? To take it out of the
Yeah.
duty finder.
Yeah. Also, I gotta ask, what's up with the Palico? Because it's higher quality
yeah.
than a minion.
The cat.
So yeah, the little cat, like that's way higher quality than like any minions in FF14.
Mm-hmm.
So is that just gonna be a new companion, maybe? Like
That
To
would
replace
be
Jungle
absolute insanity.
Could you imagine?
I don't think they would go that far. That would just throw everything out
adding
the
a whole
window.
new
That-
system.
yeah.
I mean, would it really be that much harder to have like a new companion?
I mean, it's
Yeah.
a nice dream, but
Because at the end of the day, it's just an NPC.
let's
that
be
you level
real.
up
Let's be
and-
real. They've abandoned the companion system.
But they said they want to go back to it before.
They have, but have they?
So
Do you mean the
They
cat
have-
with the glasses?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's called a palico.
Yeah. I think that's
100%
just
he's just going to be the quest NPC.
yeah. He's
and
going to be
nothing
the
more.
quest
That would
and
be
maybe you'll
shame,
get
but-
a lower res minion of him. A wind up.
Yeah,
version.
because he has animations and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. He's
Opening
fully
his
animated.
mouth.
Yeah.
Hey, those fancy combat animations, like they fight in Monster Hunter, so
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
they.
They're not going to fight in Verminion, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, they've probably just used Monster Hunter World models, yeah. And then
Oh,
adapted
yeah,
them to the 14 engine.
It pretty much is like the
Yeah.
detail in the Rathalos is like not something you would see in 14.
No.
Yeah.
Which
I wish it was.
yeah, yeah. Shows that it's possible though.
Yeah. Maybe
Uh,
they'll be inspired.
Yeah. So moving on to some etc. Approximately 40% of the people at E3 cleared
Really?
the 4.3 trial.
That's
Wow.
about the
It's-
usual, isn't it?
Is that
It's just
extreme or
normal
normal?
mode.
It's
But
normal.
I think it's
It's
slightly higher
normal?
tuned, but it's normal. That's
Well,
so
I mean,
embarrassing.
Think about it. It's E3, like with people who don't play 14, because everyone's invited to do
Oh,
it.
I'd be
true.
so angry if
And
I
then-
got upset with noobs and they had lost.
And they make it easier, like they make the mechanics hit a bit harder
Easier?
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't you remember they did that with Proto Ultima too?
Mm.
It's just an easier version
Mm.
of the
Yeah,
actual
it's
thing in
also
the
a
game.
proper trial.
Let's not talk about Proto Ultima.
But yeah, like they
That's
do
so
easier
embarrassing.
versions.
Less
Same
than
thing
half. Beat
same thing with
what is-
Susanoo.
Yeah, yeah.
Also,
it-
super disappointing if you've never played the game and then think, "Oh, this looks fun, I'll play it," and then it's got all these spoiler by Xenos.
Yeah.
Shadow of Xenos.
I don't think I think like disable cutscenes for them because they're like actual characters that they have for.
Yeah, but Xenos is still in the
yeah, but
fight.
he's in the fight.
Oh, well, yeah,
I
but it
don't
wouldn't
know.
really mean anything to you, I guess.
He
It's
wouldn't.
like,
Wouldn't.
oh,
He wouldn't, but
you would just like see him again and be like,
That's
and you
so
know it's like a dream
embarrassing.
sequence sort of.
yeah.
Wow, E3 get better.
Yeah, get better, basically.
It's the same thing for Susanoo.
Whatever. 40% is too
fine.
low. Get good.
Yeah.
They have organized a big surprise for the final chapter of the Omega Raid.
Oh my god. It's
Please make it
wrestling outfits.
more. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Make it more than just an anime tournament arc, because this is what it's turned
yeah.
into.
Yeah.
It's very
It's
boring.
boring, yeah.
It is. It's.
And you all said Alexander was boring.
I just like the aesthetic of the Omega Raid.
I like
Yeah,
the
the inside
bosses
bit's
and the
cool.
fights.
Yeah.
I just wish it was a
The
more
story is a
interesting
little bit weird. Yeah.
or an MSQ story.
The theme of it gives you the option to have literally any fight. And I think they could probably do a little bit more with some of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see what that big surprise is in 4.4.
Midgard Summer turns sexy. My
Ooh,
predictions.
Holy moly, yes.
Kettle as a housing item.
He turns into a sexy dragon girl. He's like, "Oh, warrior of light, I've got this new body. Oh my god, it's so
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh.
You can dress me up too."
Dude, I've made
No.
my Kurenai so ugly. I've made her the ugliest I could. So I know it's like it's a pointless like thing to do because no
yeah, I
one else
forgot
can
about
see it. But I'm like, you're gonna be ugly now. So
Put her in the tin can.
Yeah.
That's the outfit she needs.
yeah. Also, Mela, I totally support the kettle housing
Yeah.
item because that's clearly
Definitely
the star of the storyline.
That's gonna be a reward for like completing the quest. It
I
has to
sure
be.
hope so.
Can
Sure
the
hope so.
reward be that Nero just becomes a main character in the entire MSQ?
Yes.
Because I love him so much.
We become
Nero joined your squadron and he stays there
Yeah.
forever.
Oh,
Doesn't
hell
have to be
yeah.
story.
Hell
he just
yeah.
is part of the whole game forever. Every single quest has him in it.
Yes. So they also confirmed that the outfits for Lise, Yotsuyu, and for Dola will not be added anytime soon whatsoever.
Good.
So
Good.
They're going to
Don't
be expensive and on the Mog
stop
Station
asking.
5.0.
yeah. Yoshida doesn't have a problem with nobody being in the 2.0 areas because he thinks new players prefer having their own brand new adventure, which I actually
That's
kind of
understandable.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing more frustrating than starting out new and then seeing like level 70 people with all the best weapons just running around, and when you're like doing a storyline where you're just a tiny adventure that no one knows about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand that actually.
I
As
still
long
got
as
life
you
for the
keep
hunts.
right,
so
yeah, the hunts kind of break that
or
immersion.
something.
And
But-
you still see people like occasionally doing fates areas,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and you'll see them in the towns, of course, too. Like there's
Yeah.
tons of people still in Gridania and all that.
I've been sometimes I just walk around in Eorzea, and and I'm like, sure, there can't be people here. Like I refuse to believe that there are people in this zone. Like I'd go to like Outer Lenosha just to, or what's the other one? Outer and Upper. No, I mean Outer with Camp Bronze. Like I'm like this. If I go to the other side to Oakwood, there can't be people there, and there are always people. There are people everywhere. So
we see people just like doing the quest for minimum eye level. Like so we see them talking to the entrance NPCs.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
See them all the time. So 14 is.
I don't think it's that much of a problem.
14's world is alive, even though there is no reason to go back.
Find places. Some of the new zones are very see people, but they're so big.
Yeah.
That you just there's no.
And they often fly, so it's difficult to see them.
Yeah, Heavenswood, especially those zones are.
Yeah. Well, they're dead if you try. Yeah, because you can't see them because they're flying.
Can't see anyone.
Yeah.
Which was the main worry. Remember back in the day when they talked about this the first time, like in A Realm Reborn, the Realm Reborn era, they were like, don't know if we want flying because then we won't see the people.
I wish they hadn't done flying.
See, in retrospect, yeah, partly, kind of, because now again with the Heavensward zones, they feel kind of dead.
Yeah,
but
I like flying. It's fun.
Yeah, the convenience of flying is too good. I wouldn't trade it off now, but
it's too late.
Occasionally, I see a peasant on the ground. I'll wave to him.
Yeah,
that's it.
Wow.
So there is a possibility that they will upgrade the graphics engine. But that topic will only come up if they plan and manage to continue for 10 more years.
Okay, that's optimistic.
So get more people to play this game, make sure that their player base is stable, and we might get a graphics update.
By that time, there'll be the next Final Fantasy MMO, which will have better graphics.
Yeah.
I
kind of go on.
Do they when he says 10 years? When I was reading it, I don't know if they meant 10 years since launch or 10 years from now.
Yeah, from launch that'd be okay, but wow.
From launch, I'd be like, okay, that's probably gonna happen. But from now, I doubt that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I don't think in 2028, 14 is still gonna be the Final Fantasy MMO. I don't. No. There's gonna be another one.
Be a new one.
Yeah, there will be a new one.
That will be a new service game.
So I don't know. It's it depends on what he means here, but the fact that it's they're talking about it kind of is positive, but
but then
depending on what he means by that number, if it's 10 years from now, that's never gonna happen. But 14's not gonna live for another 10 years without a successor. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Because like, why would you want to focus that much like engine rework and all that stuff after the new one came or is on the way at least? Like,
I know people are bringing up WoW and stuff. Yeah, they are old. They're old games.
Have you seen how much they've updated their game though over time?
Which is what they're saying here, though.
2003.
Yeah, and they recently, a few years ago, they upgraded their graphics engine, right?
Yeah.
They upgraded the graphics. So the same thing would happen
the
here.
art style or not? It does look so much better than it used to.
Yes. But again, 14 would have to. I mean, 14. A Realm Reborn isn't very old. 14 is
it still looks fine.
5 years old, is it? Four? It's 5. It's 5-year anniversary is this year, I think. So
the game looks fine now.
WoW is 14 years old.
Yeah.
So, for 14, so they're saying from starting today, 10 years from now, when the game turns 15, it is finally over. If they can see that happening, the game living for 10 more years, that's when they will consider graphic an update to the engine, because it's probably hella expensive, a big investment.
Personally, I don't think it ever really needs an engine upgrade, honestly, because it looks pretty good, especially if you were able to bump up the textures just a bit.
Yeah.
And character creation, I mean, that'd be nice if it was better too. But for the most part, I think it's still a pretty good looking game.
Yeah.
Just because of its art direction.
The art direction is what saves this game, because it's not going to age badly, because it has this weird fusion between realism and cartoony.
Yeah.
Which, makes it look good, and it's also very well optimized. Rarely do you see pop-ins in this game. If ever, like especially in the open housing districts, kind of happens, but there's like this soft pop-in, like where it just fades in.
It's not Unreal.
It's not like the jarring jumping.
Doesn't have that bad texture loading thing too.
The
only thing that will age in this game is the textures. If they can keep updating them, and not just new zones, but focus on old as well, update the whole game texture wise, it could last the decade.
And they still have the source. I mean, I would hope they still have the source textures, because they don't make them like 256 by 256 and draw on that size of a canvas.
Right.
They should still have the source files, and hopefully like release a higher quality version.
I mean, that's all everyone wants, right? We don't need a graphical overhaul. We just need better textures. And they are aware of that. Like, or either maybe they aren't, because there are some cutscenes where they just zoom in on like the most pixelated shit ever, and I'm like, do you not see this? Does this not bother you?
Like some guy's nice robe, and it's just this 3 pixels.
Like,
dragon. It's like, what's that?
Or you could have at least just made this specific texture higher quality. Like if you're gonna show it. Or something
like Hien's coat and the book from the Return to Evil's cutscene.
Raubun's fucking coat too. That eagle looks awful.
Weirdly, go to Javanian hinterlands and then go and look at like the vine text, like the ivy texture on the side of those buildings. Really good texture.
Yeah, that's
really
so weird.
Good texture.
Like sometimes you'll just come across a really good texture, and for some reason they didn't do that with Hien's coat, Raubun's coat, and the book. Like, why those? They're in focus.
It's strange. Like you think there'd be like little note text, like, "Hey, don't zoom in on this texture." Not very good.
I mean, you'll never zoom in on that fucking vine texture, but Hien's coat. Yeah, sure. Let's make that low res. Anyways, again, no real big need for graphical update. Just give us better textures.
It'd be nice.
Yeah.
Please.
So patch 4.35 will be released before the Kyoto Fate, which is on July 16th. So before July 16th. So that's sort of, I guess, confirms that it's going to be releasing. It's either going to be on the 10th or the 3rd of July.
Yeah, or they could do some weird thing and do it on like a Thursday. Sometimes they like to do weird things.
I kind of doubt they would do that. Patches are usually
Tuesday, but probably the 10th.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hazard a guess at the 10th.
Yeah, they usually tend to the 10th. That's that makes sense. I looked at June. Like that's a Sunday. Yeah, the 10th. Yeah. I would probably,
because when they say like near the end of July, they'll do on like the 31st of July. Yeah. So best to just think as close to that date as possible.
Yeah.
It'll be out in July for sure. So just at 4th of July, just
early July.
Probably have it then.
Yeah.
Hooray.
So the patch will introduce Heaven on High, which is the new deep dungeon.
Cool.
And it will be as difficult as a high-end raid, the last floors. So look forward to that.
When they say that, do they mean like savage or?
They mean a high-end raid.
Yeah. Okay. Up for interpretation. The monsters inside Heaven on High do attacks such as a single monster using a look away mechanic from 4 directions, and looking at even one of them is an insta-death.
Nice. From 4 is there like multiple copies or something?
Probably, I don't know. That's interesting. That's a cool mechanic. You have to
close your eyes.
Yeah.
You have to use the shut eyes emote.
Yeah. Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Of the correct. Oh god, you have to use like left wink just because it's on the left side.
They should add those mechanics into Ultimate. I totally be down. Use this emote like right in this spot where you die.
Yeah.
Gold Saucer Ultimate.
Yes. Okay, so yeah, we talked about the role actions for patch 4.4.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one kind of clarifies. The SDS Fenrir mount from the FanFest and Mog Station has a unique mechanic where no matter which area you ride in, it will always have the +1 speed boost when you're on the ground, regardless of if you have met the conditions or not. You usually have to finish the MSQ for each of those areas, expansion areas, to make your map move faster. This applies to the 5.0 areas, and you will have the bonus speed boost from the start.
So it doesn't go faster than currently possible.
No.
But if you haven't unlocked the ether currents, you can still go fast.
Yes, apparently.
Or whatever.
Yeah, and it can both go on land, sky, and sea.
Who cares? That's not going to give any
we're-
advantage.
I mean, we say it just because it's a slippery slope.
Yeah,
is.
definitely
Obviously-
be aware of the slippery slope, but it's not going to give like.
It's not terrible.
It's
Yeah.
not a big advantage, but if they're willing to
The
sell
only thing
that,
is-
they.
When the expansion comes out, you'll be able to get to your next sort of NPC a little
Yeah,
bit faster.
yeah. Also, a fun fact: Ultimates, and Rage chooses the one who did the least total damage first, and then moves up the list.
I like that.
Yeah,
Because they were talking about it too, because it's like, oh, it's kind of like, I don't know if you put it on the doc, but like, oh, the hero's dying and passing it on to the rest of the team.
Yeah.
So like the person with the highest DPS is like trying to do the best amount of damage they can before they get deleted too.
yeah.
It's like, that's a cool feeling. I like that.
Chat is saying so healers die first. That is what people assumed first, that it was healers, tanks, DPS. That was just a fixed death. But that is what happens. Healers
It's
usually
generally
do
how
the
it goes.
least DPS.
Anyway.
That's how you figure out your DPS, guys.
Yes, that's the parser, guys. We got it.
If you got to that part and you're a bad DPS, then like, what the fuck? How'd you get
Yeah,
this far?
what if like you're a monk and you die first? Everyone's like,
Oh
that,
god.
that would be embarrassing.
So there's more information on the ultimate weapon. They said that they blanked out the next plan. And nothing's on the paper. So it kind of insinuates that they kind of had one planned, and then they were like, let's scrap that. And he says that the dev who will be in charge of the next ultimate fight will need to start from choosing the next boss.
Cool.
So yeah.
Steps of Fate Ultimate, it's coming.
No.
There are only 3 devs currently that can create an ultimate fight in the team.
Like
So-
it's a skill no one else can ever
yeah,
achieve.
yeah.
I mean, you do need like
Like they have their own room. You open
Yeah.
up as like mist. Master, we require your work.
We need one more.
We need
No.
one more.
Not this
2
patch.
is enough. I just picture Yoshi like, wait, the ultimate fight has been blanked out. It's like, you have to go in there. It's like,
No.
I don't want to go in there. It's just this dude
Not into the crypt.
sitting on a
Just
rock,
like-
barefoot, and his
Barefoot?
and there's just mist on the floor. And he opens
That
the
just
door and
sounds
he's just like,
disgusting.
His
Master.
walls pasted with like his plans for the old chocobo racing before he got promoted to this job. Like, I finally made it.
It's just like a decapitated chocobo statue in the corner.
What was that, Boko?
Anyways, let's see.
Oh yeah, so yeah.
I just
So 3 devs can
1.3.
make it.
Yeah, only 3 devs can make it. However, some of the others have also gained a bit of experience.
Yeah.
Good on them.
Yeah.
Be nice to see some fresh blood making that stuff.
Yeah.
Or new blood, I guess.
Yeah.
Fresh blood.
Yeah. I got the phrase wrong, I'm sorry.
Sounds insidious.
Okay, so I think we're gonna move on to. There was so much, but I
What was
think
it?
These- you guys don't know how many interviews there were, dude. Like, this is still just one
Yeah.
interview, right?
no,
This
I
is
think
the-
I think we've actually I've taken out a lot. I think this is the Famitsu one, and we've already done Dengeki, I think. So
Okay.
we're moving on to Happy now. There weren't. I've just picked a few of them. A lot of them were just repeats from what we already knew. But I'm sure a lot of people wanted to know about the Claire time of Ultimate and what Yoshi P feels about that. The weapons refrain ultimate was defeated in just over 5 days. Was this a surprise, or did the team expect the encounter to be defeated in about that time? Yoshida answers that it's always tough to calculate kill times as player skill is constantly improving. Not only that, but you don't know how your players will respond to the new mechanics being thrown at them. For the development team, we just want to ensure the battle doesn't drag on longer than 2 weeks. Once it gets past that point, morale and excitement decrease drastically.
I mean, for what it's worth, Yoshi P, from what I could see of people watching streams of this fight, people really like the new mechanics, so good job.
Yes.
Yeah, they did a pretty good job of making it shorter, but more enjoyable.
The raiders and the viewers alike enjoyed this. The fact that you kind of bamboozled them a bit too was a nice twist.
But seeing people go, oh, we've just spent 14 hours doing nothing, and instead of going, oh, well, I'm going to bed, going, oh, brilliant, this is great, it's actually good, well done. That's a great thing. So, that's really good.
And Mr. Rapid says, after Gordius, I agree to that. Yoshida laughs. Yes, we have learned a lot from those days. Back to Ultimate, that took about 11 days to be defeated, and this battle took about 5. Due to that, people might take that as face value and assume Ultimate is easier. I think instead, it just goes to show how skilled and dedicated the players who take on these encounters are. I have high respect for these players. And then he asked, I wanted to ask you as well, what is your feedback regarding the Woken mechanic we implemented? Strappy says, genius. Yoshida laughs. Thank you. I'm very glad to hear you like the concept. The dev team really wanted the players to feel good progressing through the primals naturally the first time, but were concerned players might find revisiting these primals via the Woken mechanic. We're afraid they might feel as though they were cheated in some way. I'm very happy to hear you enjoyed the mechanic. I think everyone agrees on that. That was
it's like a nice red herring. Be like, oh, you thought it was this, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
Try again.
Absolutely.
Getting super worried it was going to be trash, and then it turned out to be really good.
Yeah, we were all super worried. Like, oh, is this it?
Yeah.
Is this it?
Yeah.
But it turns out you physically can't progress without doing this super weird.
I think that's a good feeling of
like,
oh.
It was beaten faster, but I had more fun watching this, actually.
Yeah. And it was interesting watching them figure out exactly how it's done. Like, they saw like little flickers of the mechanic throughout, and like, hang on, does that mean anything?
Mm-hmm.
Or
yeah, exactly.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I think Ultimate Coil was a bit more of a bash your head against a brick wall type thing too. Which I don't think it was bad, but it was just.
I mean, I had fun watching that too.
Coil was epic.
Coil was beautiful.
I mean, I liked it, but it was more like, okay, we
kind of knew what we were. Yeah, it was more traditional in that sense.
Like, just do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone sort of agrees to that. Ultimate so far has been very good. Both iterations.
Good success.
Yes.
It's gonna be sad when they make a bad Ultimate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is why it's good that we're not getting one every odd patch, because the chance of that happening now is going a lot down. Eureka will be seeing the Pegos edition in 4.36. How does the team plan on making the weapon building experience different from the previous iteration, as well as going forward after Pegos? Yoshpi says our general rule for improving weapons, which, by the way, I didn't even think about that. Like, hopefully they will change. That's always been my thought when they did that. Like, I hope they just don't do the same thing where we go to like an ice Pazuzu and do the same stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what I thought initially. But let's get to the answer first. Our general rule for improving weapons in series such as this is that we need to make it vary. It's the same idea of improving a weapon, but it can't be the same thing every time. With this, expect improving your weapon in Pegos to be different from improving it in Animos, and in future Eureka zones as well. I don't want to spoil what you'll be doing, as I want the players to experience it firsthand. One thing I will say is that the conditions for spawning NMs will be very different in some cases than it was in Animos. I am looking forward to players figuring them out.
That's pretty cool, I guess.
So they're changing it up.
Like I said before, this is the make or break moment for Eureka, because
I forgot. Yeah,
he hates
because it's like, no, because I want to see how they change it up. But if it's like hey, we're doing some real good changes, or oh, it's supposed to be more of the same with some slight differences, and I'd be like, I don't want that. No.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I hope it's like that S rank in Lenosha where you have to die, like enough people have to die.
Oh yeah.
To spawn it.
Or we have to die naked. Remember I accidentally spawned one when we were.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was good. I don't want to
And
elaborate on
guys,
why I was naked.
We
but-
need sacrifices.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to go into that.
No, let's not get into that.
But if we need sacrifices, guys, everyone come to this spot and die.
Yeah.
To spawn.
Hey, I'd be down. That'd be fun.
Same. That's cool.
But make me not lose XP, maybe.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Because then if you don't get respawned, no one reses you.
Yeah.
What if?
Thanks for your sacrifice.
What
Ted.
if, for a certain item to spawn, or for Snow Zuzu, you have to have people lose XP?
Holy moly, that's too hard. That's too harsh.
You guys have
You
to
know
de-level from the max level to get this to spawn.
Holy moly. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I liked Eureka, so I mean Animus,
Yeah,
so
same.
I'm looking forward to Pegos. And from what we've just learned, sounds like it's going to be a good experience because it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, exactly. If it ended up just being new crystals and doing the same thing, I
Yeah.
would probably get bored quite quickly.
Yeah,
but
same.
if it's nice and new, it'll be fine.
Yeah. Then there was a question for Soken. Are there any tracks in the game you'd really like to do a Primals rendition of? So he wanted to do Tsukuyomi's theme. Then he asked Mr. Happy he would want Byako, and Soken was like, yeah, Byako, yeah. So those tracks might be coming out soon. Hey, sweet. That's easy. So again, about the Ultimate, he asked if when the next expansion releases, the current Ultimate encounters will still be level and eye level synced, and if so, he thought he would think that those job changes could make these encounters more difficult than intended to revisit. That's a good question, and something we kind of talked about when we talked about the job role actions. So Yoshida says, unfortunately, we haven't given this much thought. Our goal right now is to produce encounters the players will love and find challenging, but it's hard to predict down the line how they will be received. I'd imagine we'd have to have discussions considering a few things. Do you want to keep this level/eye level synced? Keep these level or eye level synced when expansions launch? Will we go back and retune the fights to keep them at ultimate level? If we do keep them synced, perhaps we'd need to remove the fights for a time and then re-release them balanced for their intended level. Like I said, we haven't really had any discussions considering this. When the time comes, we will figure out exactly what we'd like to do.
That's a pretty positive answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hope they keep the exclusivity or where they, like, oh, this will forever be something hard that you can do and you'll get a nice reward for the title for it, a weapon or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Shows that he's very serious about keeping Ultimate. And then there's a question that, of course, resonates with us and our podcast. The Mog Station has seemingly picked up the pace in which it has released new in-game items for players to purchase. How is it determined what items will be placed in the Mog Station and which will be placed in the game?
Such a BS answer, by the way.
Here it
This answer
comes.
fucking
Here it
sucks.
comes. Yoshida says, it may feel like the pace is being accelerated, but the Mog Station releases are on a release schedule. More recently, we have been releasing items to the Chinese and Korean servers, which are separate from our global servers, since those games use a different payment model than the global version. Those regions pay us to create these items and supplement the game itself. When that happens, what then happens if the global players find out about these items and request them for our region as well? While they are intended for those markets with player demand, we do make an effort to bring them to the global version. It can make the pace seem accelerated for sure, but our Mog Station releases are simply on schedule.
Simply on schedule.
So, what about all the other items that aren't from China or from Korea?
Simply on schedule.
Simply on schedule, Rollo.
So,
What can I tell you? It's on
Simply
schedule.
on schedule. So It may seem like an accelerated pace to you, but it's simply.
He didn't answer the question about what items get choose to be in game.
Of course, he's not going to answer that question.
Just
I don't
simply on schedule.
I don't think this is his fault, by the way.
No,
I
don't have enough
think this
keys
is
Not in
like,
charge of it at all.
They don't. They. It's just how it is. They
said
to
it
get
was
more
some woman
keys.
who decided the Mog Station or something, didn't he? Once she's super scary and he doesn't like talking to her or something.
What? That there's a woman?
Mhm.
What? When did you say this?
I'm sure at one, like when
Is
they
he
were
trying to
talking
like
about.
push the blame over onto
Yeah,
some
yeah.
other employee?
It was when they asked about the umbrella or something. He was
Oh.
like, well, the person in charge of the Mog Station.
Oh my
items is
god,
someone
she
else,
must be
she's pretty scary."
swamped right now with just all the stuff that's happening there.
I hope she's swamped in hate mail.
I don't know. I don't care anymore. The Mog Station can just do whatever. I know we're gonna get these whenever we talk about the Mog Station. People are gonna be like, "Oh, poor people." Whining
Yeah.
of poor people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
What
enjoy
about
my Mog Station items because
Oh.
this is whining of poor people.
all these items you don't have, I paid for.
Yeah.
Oh.
I
As
don't-
they flick through their leather squall wallet.
Mm. That's the most accurate thing I've ever heard. Oh my god.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Listen, it's bad. Okay, it's not his fault. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like an upper management type thing.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like, hey, we need to monetize.
He's a director at Square Enix. He is upper management.
He is upper management
Oh.
now, technically.
Well,
I
he's
guess.
like advisory.
Yeah.
That position is an advisory one.
Yeah, but
He's-
he's like the queen. She is advisory, but if she wanted to take control, she could.
A bit of a
Yoshi P is the queen.
stretch. Yoshi P is the queen? Yoshi P is
Hmm.
technically the queen of Square Enix, everyone.
Yeah,
Not
just a Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for 14, I understand. Like, he's just like he's
It's not the queen of Square Enix.
he's just a figurehead, yeah, on the board. He's just like, I am 14. I represent 14. And everyone's like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Yeah, so I don't think it's his fault specifically, so I wouldn't like curse his name as you buy Mog Station items you really want. But I do. I don't know.
I feel like
It's a bad direction for the game.
We talked too
whatever.
much about that.
Because
So
someone has to.
there's
right?
nothing we can do about it. It's gonna happen. It's just how it is. There's
We
too
can
many
scream.
whales in this ocean, Rollo. We can't get rid of them.
It's a
So
little tuna fish.
Why
Um,
I don't know. I like tuna. We're gonna play it twice.
welcome to MogMail. Welcome to MogMail. You don't say that. What? It's been so long. I'm like, what do I do? How do I do this thing?
You know what we should do? We should start doing like the Blues Clues thing. Like we just gotta.
I would love that.
We just gotta learn.
Okay, let's just start. Here's the first one. It's from Stalborn Kasetsu from Midgard's Ormer. Just recently found your podcast and I immediately love it. I haven't watched every episode, so this might have been asked before, but what do you guys think about the server stereotypes and how Limsa Lominsa will always be the weird place where everyone hangs out and shows off glamours? Just in case, I know that others like Limsa Lominsa because it's only one teleport and you're already next to the market board. Keep up the good work and maybe someday I'll be able to watch it live. Thank you for your MogMail. So yeah, what do we think about servers? Do you have any server stereotypes?
I love the server stereotypes.
Uh,
I
Ours
just love
is
it.
full of it. Like Limsa is, I think goes for every server. Just Limsa is a nice place to just sit down and just look around because there
It's
are a
great to
lot of
watch the
weirdos.
stories
in Limsa.
unfold in
Yeah,
Limsa.
there's lots of drama. I've been witnessing a lot of drama in Limsa in
I
Say
hate
Chat.
Limsa.
It's I can't really think of like a good like a stereotype that really without like name calling, right? Because that's the thing. But there's I think every server has that person that like shouts and shout chat a lot or
Yeah.
does perform. There's like we have I don't know who that is, but there's like if you are around Limsa at like very late in the evening, like midnight ish my time, there's like a person that pops up. That person can perform really damn well, and that person will play like loads of songs I don't know who that is, but shout out to that person. I know I usually just AFK in Limsa, but sometimes I'm still there and I can hear perform, and I just stand there and I listen. That's very nice.
Like dog in Animal Crossing every Saturday.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, like server stereotypes are just kind of anecdotal, you know.
Yeah.
Like, for the most part, I think most servers are the same, save for like Balmung because it's the RP one. And then, what was the old raid server for Aether that used to be?
Gilgamesh.
Yeah, like aside from those, because those were like designated.
And Moogle, which is the French server.
Yeah.
Yeah. And aside from that, I think they're mostly kind of the same.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see that much difference from like when I'm on Zalera and when I'm on Ragnarok. Aside from just people speaking different languages, and there's more.
I think there is some small servers that have some, like Fairy is another one that has a reputation on Aether for being. It's like Balmung, but weirder. Like weirder in the sense that like they're not up to weirder shit. They're just weirder human beings. You know, they're not like doing sexual stuff all the time. They're just weird human beings.
Yeah.
Shout out to my entire raid group who's on Fairy, by the way.
Okay.
They are weird. Wow. And no, they are weird as
fuck. You
fuck.
just called them out as weird.
Absolutely, I did.
Okay.
And
I agree.
They would agree. But I've, like, I'm not even going to name certain servers, but I know like there's been some small servers that people are like, everyone from this server is kind of an asshole. Yeah. And it's a couple of like the really small ones. Mm-hmm. I'll just say it. It's because Adamantoid fucking assholes all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the best part about I think on Balmung the main area is Uldar.
Uldar seems to be the place to be in Balmung, but I think
if you hang out in Limsa, you get to know names.
Yeah.
The people who hang out in Limsa a lot, you get to know. When you see them in other zones, you're like,
yeah, I'm like, oh, I know you.
Yeah, and it's just, even though you like almost never speak to some of them, it's like, oh, it's you. That's just, I just like that sort of community.
I hope someone who's watching right now is one of those people that I see in Limsa every day.
Yeah.
Because I notice you every time you walk around in the overworld. If I see you, you can bet I'm going in my head like, oh, I know you. Yeah. It's like every time. I know you from Limsa. So
shout out to all my Zalera pals. I keep an eye on you. Hillary Clinton.
Oh yeah, shout out to Ragnarok, of course.
I love, that is one of my favorite things is when you've been on the same server as somebody forever, and I swear there's probably only like 100 on each server. Like I think there's maybe like a group of like 50 people that I've recognized since day one of playing with Cactuar.
Yeah.
And I don't, half them, as you said, half of them I've never talked to. But I'm like, hey, that guy, what's up?
Yeah.
I see you all the time. You're always shouting. You're always making parties. You're always doing something. It's like, I know that guy.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm like,
they like link all the servers into one mega server is the day I'll be very upset.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean.
I don't think it'd be that bad if that ever happened. Like, he'd still.
I'd be a little sad because it'll be
names.
harder to see those names then.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like sometimes, like I have someone that I remember, several that I remember from launch of the like A Realm Reborn. Some even from 1.0 that I still see in Limsa, and sometimes they're gone for a while, and then they're back, and I'm like, oh, thank God, equilibrium restored. You're back. Yeah.
I've had like such a there's one person who I talked to once. And then I've just had this weird relationship where we kind of just go alongside of each other, and I just see them all the time. And I'll always remember them because they were the one who fixed my gear for the first time.
That's called a stalker. Yes.
No, not at all. Not at all.
You're in my house.
They have a really long name, like a really long name, so it's very noticeable. And they're my friend, obviously, because as I said, they were like, I think the first person on my friends list. I've talked to them like twice.
Yeah.
But they were like, hey, your gear's garbage. You're the worst ever, by the way. Terrible tank. Go just jump off a cliff. I remember he was like, I'll make you a bunch of free accessories. Stop being so shit.
Yeah.
And I think he made me good at this game. So shout out to that guy for getting me on this podcast, technically.
Good guy.
You know what? Yes, I had a moment just like that too.
I think everybody does, right?
Well, yeah.
And I just still see the guy like all the time. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't say hi. I never said thank you. I just like
Okay. Let's go on to the next one. Thank you again, Stelborn, for that. This one is from someone we know, Scython from.
my boy.
Considering the stark contrast of mechanics in the new 24-man alliance raid, can you see Papa Yoshi nerfing it?
No.
Yes.
No, definitely not. The only fight that's even slightly difficult is Construct 7.
I say. Oh wait.
Just be
was it-
better at the game.
This totally reminds me of something that we forgot to talk about, by the way.
Oh yeah.
We
What?
can talk about the need greed thing.
Oh
yeah.
shit.
Fuck.
No one said anything.
I was
about
about to say they nerfed the need greed system.
Yay! They did that. Shit.
It's good. It's going
too
away.
late to talk. Well, it's going away.
They undid it. They undid
undid
the
it.
thing.
Needs
we-
coming back, guys.
Yeah.
All is normal.
Yeah. So the thing is, we noticed this when we did it the other day, Mala. Did they slow down Construct 7's rotation?
The spin thing seems so
The
much
They slow it down.
I-
That's
Feels
the
like
only thing I
they
wanted
nerfed it
nerfed.
already.
It seems like
It
it's
was
slower.
not fast.
but
it was not fast like
I-
it used to be.
Then again, yeah, it maybe
It starts off slow, doesn't it?
it
Then
does
when
start off
gets
slow, but the
faster.
second
Does it?
time it didn't go. I didn't feel like it went as fast. Maybe it's just because I've already
the
done it.
first
so many
time we
times
did
now.
it went faster than you could sprint,
Uh-huh.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
and now it definitely doesn't.
Yeah.
So they might have ninja nerfed that one already.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
They might have. I don't know. It is a little slower. People are noticing that. Okay, maybe.
Okay,
I've
interesting.
seen 2 people say that so
Okay.
far. So.
Okay.
It may also be that we just killed it faster, so we didn't.
Might
yeah,
have
may
that
also
too,
be
because I
well.
remember Construct 7. Whew, spent a lot of time there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not actually losing to him, just rezzing people constantly on repeat.
Yeah. Did they ever nerf Rabanaster?
Don't think so.
No.
What was that?
So
even
no, I
nerfed?
don't think no.
Oh, don't you remember people were like
No, I
wiping
didn't.
left and right on Rabanaster. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
the
on
first
that's how it always starts off.
Fucking
remember
hash
Hashmal?
browns.
Yeah, Hash
Yeah,
Browns.
Hash Brown was. Whoa.
He was
That's just-
terrible.
People were just really bad at coordinating.
Yeah, but
and,
that's
learning it.
that is people are just really bad at math, and then they
Yeah.
just need to learn math, and then
I
once
mean,
everyone's
you have to
learned
count up
math.
to like 12.
I mean, you
guys,
don't really
fine.
actually. You don't really have to even learn math because you usually, eventually, you'll just know. You just know what it is. It's just the prime
Hey,
numbers thing is.
out. Go on and make your health divisible by 3. You know the 3 times
3, 6,
table.
9, 12. You know, you
half
can
the
just-
time, you just make it the number he says.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
probably 75% of the time he's like, make it divisible by 5, and you're like, okay, well, I'll just give myself 5 health.
Yeah, yeah.
and if
yeah.
you're,
don't even
if
have
you're
to-
already on
yeah.
5 health, just think like, okay, what's 5 times 2?
Yeah.
You
Just
don't,
times
if
it
you're
by
already
2.
at 5 health, you don't do anything.
Yeah.
So just,
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's that bad. I'll think people will learn it as time
Yeah.
goes on. It'll be fine.
Uh-huh.
it'll be gone in like, no one will do it in like 5 weeks time anyway when we get up.
Uh-huh.
So the
Okay.
answer is maybe if they already nerfed it, possibly.
They may
Yeah.
already have nerfed
They
it,
may have already done so.
but hopefully
uh,
not further.
Okay, so the next one, I think. So, there are 2 very big ones. I think maybe we would merge 4 and 3. This makes no sense to the viewers, but I'm talking to the others.
Okay.
Should we
Let's
just
just do them, it's fine.
I see. Yeah, those.
Just do them all.
let's do them all? Okay, so I'll read 4 first and then do 3. And then
Sure.
then we'll answer that as like a whole big thing. Okay, so let's start here with one from, if I've done this correctly, from that's the wrong order. Well, we'll do it the other way around then.
Misato
This is-
Kusuragi.
Yeah, did not specify. Hello guys, big fan of your channel and podcast. I never have time to listen live, but I do listen on my way to work. That is still, just side note, a little
Yeah.
bit weird. I know a lot of
Very
people listen to this podcast while they're on their way to work. That is weird to me.
I mean,
Because that means we're part of like that's
Their life.
their life. Hello.
Hey,
Yeah,
guys.
dude.
Hope you have a nice day at work.
Yes.
Yeah,
You do
dude.
not
I
have
still
a
think
job.
I
Get
still
that
think it's
promotion.
weird people watch it on YouTube.
Yeah,
like,
I
I can see
know.
why you'd watch it live because it's happening. But
Yeah.
I
I
used to watch it on YouTube.
I only recently found you guys, so I don't know if this has been answered before. I guess this question mostly goes out to Lakil, but I'm just curious. How did the channel come together? What are your biggest regrets and mistakes? What do you consider your biggest achievements with the channel? Thanks for being awesome and making good shit.
Hey, Misato, I hope you're having a good morning. I
Yeah.
hope your work goes great.
Yeah.
It's
Have a great day, man.
It's a pleasant 20 degrees outside Celsius. The traffic flow is fine.
You're the weatherman now.
Yeah.
Hey, if your name is in reference to the major, I like you.
Oh
So,
yeah. What's that from? Is that some anime?
Ghost in the Shell.
Really?
Oh,
Of course, it's an anime.
Of course it is.
It's Rollo.
Let's
He's not
put-
going to say a real TV.
Okay,
program,
let's
is he?
merge it with this one from Rain, also no specified server. Hello, I've been watching you for about a year now. What I'm curious about is how did you all meet each other? When I started watching Lakil, Yas, and Mela were already doing it, and Rollo joined eventually. Thank you, Rain and
He didn't.
Misato. Okay. I feel like we've talked about. Maybe we did it on the anniversary. I think.
I mean, people don't know how I fucking got here. So
Oh god, how did this? Okay, so it kind of ties in how the channel came together.
Yeah, you guys will start from the beginning, I guess.
Yeah.
God, how did it start? Well, it started in Circus Tower. I was doing Circus Tower with Vero Sombrero. I know most of you, if not all of you, have no idea who this is, but she is the mother of this podcast. So we were doing Circus Tower, and my favorite podcast at the time, which was 14 podcast, which was, oh my god, it was called was it XIV Reborn? I think, yeah, it was struggling. The company that was running it was struggling too, and I could sort of tell that it was going to end eventually because they were getting like spotty with the when episodes came out.
They were like not getting along with each other and stuff too. It was getting really weird.
Yeah. So I told that to Vera. I'm like, my favorite podcast is going out, so I don't know what to do. And she's like, yeah, what if we, because she had been working in radio, she was like, we could do that. And I'm like, Vero is like not really a 14 player. Like she was.
Also, fast forward when you had to do all the work.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we could do that. Yes, that'd be so easy. I'm in radio. I got that. I think you'll do everything.
And I'm like, sure thing. Let's try that out. And so I remember the first time we were doing it, we were so nervous, and we had no reason to be nervous. First of all, the name we had to come up with a name. So our FC was called Seekers of Eidolon, which it still is called, which is a play on Seekers of Adeline from Final Fantasy XI. So we were like, well, we need a name. Speakers of Eidolon, because we speak on the podcast, and now it's a play on the FC's name. Clever, a triple play on words.
oh my galaxy brain.
That's how deep it is.
Too difficult for Western brains.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then we made the channel on Twitch, and I was super nervous the first time. So nervous that we were like, I don't think we should do this live. So we here's a spoiler. I think we pre-recorded the first episode, at least a portion of it, and then we aired that to an overwhelming 0 people. We had 0 viewers through the whole thing. And then I was like, okay, that was successful first episode, Vero. And Vero was like, no one was watching. And I'm like, that's fine, it'll clear. And then the second episode was, at this time, it was only audio. There was no video. It was just a static picture of Vero and my character. And then after the second episode, we had 1 viewer, and that 1 viewer stayed for 5 minutes and left. And then we were, and I was like, okay, we need to do video. And Vero, we need someone else. In addition to you, Vero, but we need someone else. So I got hold of Lonigan, which was another friend of mine who was actually playing the game and was a gamer and actually knew the game. And that was our first video podcast, episode 3. I've never been more stressed in my life. You've seen me stressed on this podcast before. I don't think you've seen me as stressed as I was in episode 3, and you can also tell that it was done last minute because we didn't have an overlay for it, because we had originally planned it to be audio. So I just took the frames from the Duty Finder and I just stretched them out and removed the insides.
Oh no!
And I stuck our faces in there, and you can like see, and the window in the Duty Finder has like an X to cross out the window. And it was stretched into like an oval.
Oh no!
And it's pixelated and horrible. So that was fun. So fast forward, we went for 14 episodes every 2 weeks. It was a bi-weekly podcast. But it was so hard to get people to show up. And I remember especially Lonigan after a while started to get difficult. Vero especially, because she was like, I realized more and more, bless her, she was more interested in glamoring, glamour was her end game. And so she got this reputation over those 14 episodes of being like the host that was just like fixing her nails and eating during the podcast. That was most of what she did. So we made the first sort of quiz show, which was the predecessor to Gillionaire, which was initially called Vero's Lore Quiz, which was supposed to be a fun segment where Vero got some very easy questions she could answer on stream. She didn't. Her understanding of the game, unfortunately, was not good enough.
What's White Mage's main healing spell?
I will never forget.
Shit.
We got.
Oh god, yeah.
I will never forget the time when we got a question from a viewer, and he was like, "I am looking into getting into crafting. What crafting class do you guys want me? Like, do you recommend starting with?" And for some reason, I handed that over to Vero, and Vero's first response is, "I'd say minor." And you can just tell that there's panic in our eyes. We're like, this has ruined the podcast. Our legitimacy is broken. So I need to fast forward wave now. So episode 14, Lonigan is slipping out of the game. He's disappearing. And Vero too, both at the same time, slip away. And I'm like, okay, fuck. I have no one. So we went into like hiatus. I remember it was just over. I thought, over the summer, then they'll be back. It'll be fine. They didn't come back. So if you went to our Twitch channel, there was like a banner on the offline screen that said, "We're on a small hiatus. We'll be back in August." That note was there until like January of the next year. But during the hiatus, I met Orange. And well, I had already met him. We were already friends at that point. But we streamed some games on the Twitch channel. That's when I realized we can't be called Speakers of Heidelin when we do non-14 stuff. So I need to make it something else. I made Speakers Network, which was supposed to be temporary. I made it on the spot. We just kind of stuck with it. And then I was like, I need a host, Orange. I want to bring the podcast back. And Orange's like, I don't want to do that. And I'm like,
oh, goodness.
It's easy. It's very easy, Orange. It's very easy. Orange is on the podcast. The podcast restarts. We meet Maela. And after a few episodes, Lonigan comes back for a while. It's very weird. He came back for a while. He fell out again. And then we got Maela in. Maela, we forced in. We were like, okay, Lonigan's not showing up anymore. Hey, Maela, you're on the podcast next week. See ya. So he showed up for the next podcast and was temporarily there. He was there. He was never supposed to be here for a long time.
Temporary to this very day.
He is still a temp to this day.
Fingers crossed, I'll make it permanent.
He was. You were supposed to just be there until Lonigan came back because you were sure he was coming back. He never came back.
He was pretty deep into Football Manager at that point.
Yeah,
so it was never
sad but true.
Is that what he left the game for? Was Football Manager?
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
What a European thing!
Yes, the most European thing I've ever heard in my life.
And then we went for a while, and then Orange started to wane. Like his interest in the game started to like fade away. At this point, Orange became like a meme machine for a while.
Yeah.
During his like last few months of speakers was probably his best time on this podcast because he managed to not only embarrass the podcast, but he brought it into the golden age. He brought some good spicy memes.
See, like, he was like the clown that people came to see.
Absolutely, yeah.
The court jester.
Yes, that's what he became. And eventually, I think he just didn't care anymore. He was like, "Fuck this! I'm going all out."
And the iTunes reviews never recovered.
The iTunes reviews and the angry comments. It was a lot happened. And then we were like, we might need to look for a replacement for Orange, but we didn't want to make it public because at that point we had already released Fallen Rise, which was a project I had thought about for a long time. and then I released it, and then the channel started to grow, and we were like, okay, at this point we probably shouldn't just let Orange go and not have a replacement, because that might look bad. So we were secretly starting to plan for, but nothing was ever mentioned on air. We never said anything about a replacement for Orange, or for our viewers it was like Orange was safe. Then we get an email from Yas, just at it was the right time. It was at the perfect time to send that email, because we were talking about it very secretly, and we were like, okay, well, I guess we might try this one, which was very scary what we did, because we were like, we read the email and we were like, sure.
And here was my perspective of that. I was like, I sent the email, which, by the way, is a note. Like, sometimes if you think you want something, just like send an email or try.
Yeah.
Like, I remember somebody saying, like, if you send an email to 10 people you respect, there's a pretty good odds you'll get at least one answer back.
Uh-huh.
So hey, just give it a shot. Sometimes
do
it
that.
works.
Yeah.
Not to us though. Fuck off. So from my perspective, I sent this email, and I think Lucia was like, "Yeah, we're looking at something in the background. Probably not, but we'll let you know."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Okay, sure." And a couple weeks later, I was like, "All right, clearly, it's not happening." We didn't really talk or anything like that.
Uh-huh.
And then I just get a message on, I guess it was a Friday night.
Yeah.
It was like been the Saturday, as
it might have even.
Well, you did. I can't remember.
It may have been Saturday for you guys.
Yeah.
Already, it was like Friday night for me, and you're like, "So you still want to be on?" And I was like, "Sure, that sounds great." Tomorrow, by the way, do you want to be on tomorrow?
Oh yeah.
I was like,
you skipped a step though, because we made you moderator first.
Right. Yeah, that's right. That was what I thought came from the email.
That was still pretty scary.
It was like, well, whatever, we'll make you moderator.
We'll make you mods. You were modding on Discord and Twitch for a couple of weeks.
And
yeah.
YouTube. We had it.
On YouTube, yeah. Well,
YouTube,
we were doing that, and then we were like, we might want to try to put him on just so we can see what we have to deal with. Why would we do that live? I don't know, but we just
literally
did.
The first time we ever speak human to human being was 10 minutes before the show started.
Yes.
10 minutes.
Yes.
They had no fucking idea who I was. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
What if I was like a racist, like
we were
extremist or something? Like,
yes, we were so scared.
You have no idea how scared I was, and all the while during the whole thing, I was like, okay, he's calm, but I was just waiting for you to snap or something. This was just a big troll. So I was very, very happy when we were done, and I was like, oh, it's over. But yeah, that was scary. So that Yas was now on, and high risk, high reward, I suppose. Yeah. So that was
he's all right.
That went well. What?
He's all right. Yeah.
He's all right. Yeah, he's all right.
Oh, wow.
So so now, and then there were four, and then we didn't tell Yas.
2 episodes.
Didn't tell Yas that Orange was like it was weird though, because we were like at a point where we didn't know when Orange was leaving, because we knew it was happening. There was like I would say some friction even, like, because Orange was like he had turned very much against. He was his view of 14 at that point was very grim.
He was very negative. Yeah,
very negative. So I knew that this is gonna snap one day. And then 2 weeks after Yas, we did 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And then the day on the Friday before the episode, I get a message from Orange, and he's like, I'm leaving the podcast now. No, that was he left on the 2nd episode, wasn't it? That's when we announced it. So it was on the eve of of the 2nd episode after you joined, and I was like, okay. So I just hastily put together this like montage thing, and then he left, and that was that. And I still remember people in chat being like, he'll be back in a couple of weeks. I'm like, no, you don't get this.
It was really funny because I was brought on. That you guys were all like, "You're the 4th member. We wanted a 4th member."
Yeah.
I was the 4th member on a 3-member podcast for like until Rolo came.
Yeah.
So it was like 5-6 months or something.
So for some reason, and I don't think we did this on purpose, but when we were like, because we said, okay, we need a 4th person, because at that point we realized that 4 people seemed to work perfectly. So we wanted to look for a fourth person, but we would call it a replacement for Orange, which technically was not true because this was the search for a fourth host because Orange was already replaced by Yas.
You got me.
Yeah, it's just I accidentally replaced Orange. Basically, is what happened.
So the search began, and we ended up with Rollo. It took a while. Took a long time before we actually started with the interviews. Because
we was a bit,
we were very
a bit
slow.
lazy.
We were very laid back. Because at some point I remember we were like, do you really need a fourth host? I remember being like that. I'm like, no, we're too deep now. We have to. Because I thought no one's going to complain if we just leave it. We can just leave
I remember there's a serious conversation. It's like, well, we haven't said no to anybody.
Yeah.
And we haven't said yes to anybody. So what if we just never answer anybody? Then everybody thinks it's a no. And like, we also don't have to say no.
Yeah. And I was like, I emailed them, like, okay.
Part of it was because it was so overwhelming with how we went about it. Like, it was like a real company. We interviewed people. We got weird, strange people in and interviewed them.
And I was laughing so hard because I'm comparing that to I'm like seeing what Rollo's having to go through, and we're making him do like two preliminary interviews and then an actual like fake podcast.
Oh,
like this whole thing set out. It was really good. It was fun too.
Fun.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at that going, and I just fucking. I got it 5 minutes beforehand. I almost felt bad, to be honest.
Yes, fell into it. I had to fucking climb a mountain.
And it was like a month-long thing for you.
Yeah.
Just as a little side note, because of like what's going on in chat and stuff, we never like hated Orange or anything. We're still friends with him.
Oh yeah.
And his attitude towards the game at the time, he was very negative, but he does really like the game.
Yeah.
He loves the game. He just wants it to succeed. In a way that he feels it should succeed.
Don't hate Orange.
Fake podcast ever recorded? I don't remember.
It was recorded. I still have the recording too.
Yeah.
So
fuck.
If you want to watch that cringe fest.
I think it's. Yeah, I think I have a link for it actually.
Oh no!
I think I might have a link.
I think I've actually deleted it.
Your montage.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I still have them on my hard drive. So one day we might bring that up. Maybe in our next anniversary we'll look at that, Rollo. Your first interview. We have both. We have all the interviews and the fake podcast. So we have a lot.
He told me like halfway through it, like, oh yeah, we're recording.
Yeah.
Professional.
We were very professional. We had actually listed that we had to say that every time, but we kind of forgot. So sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, we're recording this.
We'll do it really well if we ever have to do it again.
Yeah.
Hopefully we won't.
Okay, well, God, we're running over time. Actually, we're not because we're delayed.
That's okay, because we'll just watch.
Yeah, we'll watch Fallen Rise, so it's fine. So what's your biggest regrets? The first episode of Fallen Rise, which is also the biggest achievement of the channel. It's like the weirdest thing, but I hate the fact. I still think about the fact that why did I make 3 different versions of that episode? Why did I render them? We will never.
It's one thing to make.
How it would be.
It's one thing to make 3 scripts, but 3 full videos.
Exactly.
3 full videos. Yeah, it's true.
I should play that because I have the rough draft version of the one that I never published. So one day I'll show that one day. So you see what could have been. It's not actually very good because it's the draft version. I deleted everything else, remember. I'm not going back into how that happened, but it was bad. Also, a regret is I guess the website is one of those where a bit over more than I could chew, which was trying to make that actually I want to defend a little bit about that website because that website was not my idea. It was a viewer's idea who sort of convinced me to get writers for that website. The website was originally just archives so people could find us in Google because of metadata. That's king. But someone sent me a message and there's so much potential in this website. You should get some writers on that. That's very easy. I'm like, sure, let's give it a go. And we gave it a go and it worked for 2 weeks before absolutely everything fell apart, and I'm like, I do not have time to deal with this right now. So I just left it, and I hoped maybe someone would keep some system in there. There was a system, but people just fell away, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing this.
In concept.
Yeah,
we didn't take it seriously. It's not like we were actually making sure you had writing talent.
No.
Like anybody could literally have been writing if you had the
there was
English of a 2-year-old you still could have written.
There was even some internal drama. There was like stuff happening, and I was like, this is too much for me. This is not what Speakers is. And also
I watched from afar.
Yeah. There were also like we didn't also want to compete with the other existing websites. Like there was no need for it. There was no need for it.
I got the idea.
Yeah.
What we need to do is we need to start putting like databases of all the items in Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Oh, good idea.
So if you search up, if you search up like Favnarian Cloth, it'll link you to our site instead of like Gamerscape or something.
Yeah.
We'll become the new wiki site. Yeah.
Instead,
just link to a random article.
Instead, what I did was I made extended articles as like compendiums to the Remnants of Realm series, which worked for a while until I realized how much work that is, because now I had to screenshot everything and format it and make it like. So right now, I don't even think I've updated it now in a couple of like a month-ish. So I'm sorry. No one's watching that. Whatever website, bad idea.
Look forward to when I revamp the site myself.
Yeah, also
website 2.0, spearheaded by Rollo.
Also want to mention one last thing that's kind of funny. It's the artwork of Eorzea, which there's now not related actually to what's on our Discord server, but we had, remember this, Mel? I think you joined just when this was starting. We had this concept where people would send in artwork and we would feature on the podcast. However, we hadn't planned what to do with it. So we promoted it for 2 weeks, got artwork, and then was like,
that's only like 3 bits though.
We have, but that was a lot at the time. We didn't have a lot of viewers back then. And we were like, oh yeah, this is great. Artwork.
Put it on the screen. It's nice.
Do we put it on the screen?
I like the hair.
So we do art critics. Like, it's kind of weird, but
plus it's also like a lot of people just audio listen to it, so then it's just like
so there were some
is cool.
There were some complications there for sure. So we kind of left that. It's on Discord now. I would say the same stuff on Discord. It's kind of just thrown out there now for no good reason. But if you have nice artwork, you can put it in there. That's a nice way to place if you have some nice artwork you want to share. Skakaya Bani from Cactuar.
Is that a funny name? Is there a joke in there?
When will first person only be put back on the Wheel of Doom?
Who wants to say it? Okay.
It'll never be put back.
Never.
And the Wheel of Doom's being removed.
Never, ever,
You heard
never,
it first,
never.
guys. The Wheel of Doom is being removed and being replaced with the Square of Triumph. And it'll only have positive things on it.
Yeah.
Like, you get to, this time it's not even item level things.
I'm glad we read that MogMail, because now remember we have to pull the next minimum my level dungeon.
Hooray!
Personally, I'm going for the Octagon of Ignorance. We should bring that back.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
The Decahedron
and
of
it's like
sorrow.
Different things we have to ignore. So like each other, mechanics.
So it's like, Yaz can't pick up an ad from us or whatever if we get aggro, or like Lukeel can never heal us.
Yeah. Okay, pick a dungeon.
I'm still going for Baylor's Wall.
Okay.
I mean, I was correct last week, so I'm going to be correct this week, and it's going to be Cutter's Cry.
Totorak.
I feel like we've done Totorak. I hate this.
No, we better have done Totorak. Haven't we done Totorak?
Oh my god, it's the 10,000 Moss of Totorak! Oh my god, I won! I hate Totorak. Which means that all the modifiers on the Wheel of Doom are in effect, so there's no modification or anything. We have to do them properly.
You know what they should replace the sound when you're slowed in Totorak?
Oh yeah.
Like they replaced the barrel, replace that with like the screech sound from drama TVs that we use here for subscribe notifications.
This one?
No, because then you'd be panicking, but you can't go fast.
True. Okay, so
please not Gear As You Go. I'm not doing that again.
Let's see if I can spin the wheel, and we'll figure out what our fate will be.
Can it be like no right side? Yeah,
this
no
would be
right.
an easy one, no matter what we put.
Yeah, but let's just make it a little bit easier. No right side.
Here we go.
No right side. No right side.
No job, Crystal.
Oh, thank God it wasn't no her.
But I think,
That doesn't really do
listen, we have
anything.
to re-roll that one. I forgot.
Yeah,
No
that-
job, Crystal makes no
You
sense in
said no
Totodile. 'Cause-
modifications.
Well, this one, I forgot about no job, Crystal. We have to spin it
does
again.
make a difference because it means we can now have 10 roll actions. Instead
Yeah,
of
but it doesn't
That's
actually.
an advantage, not a
That's an
disadvantage.
advantage. Yeah. Spinning it again.
Okay.
The dice is cheating.
No, we called Mulligan.
How dare you?
Who is Mulligan?
I don't know. It's that guy you call when you're bad at golf.
Oh.
No! Reroll.
Oh
Cool.
my God. Well, actually, it's more viable, so
Yeah.
that's more fun. More fun. Garrett,
Oh,
you
yeah,
go.
that sounds fun. Thank
Up,
you.
down.
Wow, fun.
It's Totodile. It's not gonna be that bad.
It's not going to be bad. It's very easy.
No, it's not going to be bad, but
Well,
I'm just
probably,
sick of
like,
everyone looking
remember
at my
you-
naked body. You're all disgusting creatures.
You like, dude? How can you deny my fucking amazing underwear, which is so short?
Oh God.
My butt crack
crack.
is just
Mhm.
about to look over the edge. It is very
Nice little
enticing.
plumber's crack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were naked for our unveil, weren't we?
We were.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah, we did
amazing.
Autumn Veil. We can do Totodile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we play Africa by Toto during the whole thing though?
A MIDI version, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Hey, possible. Thank you guys for watching. Then we're at the end of our main show. Remember to tune in for the post show. We'll talk a little bit about the Fall and Rise stuff and the future of the channel, whatever, all that stuff, and then maybe some E3 discussion as well, post E3.
Sweet.
So stay tuned for that.
yeah.
What?
You can do it, Rollo.
Oh yeah, when I'm done. Too early. Speakersxiv.com/mogmail.
sorry.
But you can also follow us on Twitter at SpeakersXIV. Twitch.tv/SpeakersOfIdle and YouTube.com/SpeakersXIV. Exclamation Discord in chat to join our Discord server.
Facebook.
If you're watching it on demand, not Facebook. If you're watching it on demand, links in the description. Don't follow us on Facebook. I'm going to delete it one day. I just have to remember that Facebook exists.
You have to do it on stream at this point. 'cause
Probably.
It's that legendary.
Probably, yeah. We'll see you in the next episode.
YouTube.
Bye.
Send us
Bye.
more mail.
SpeakersXIV.com/mogmail.
Adios.